The views expressed on Talk Real Solutions, hosted by Tyrone Thompson at talkrealsolutions.com, are the views of Tyrone Thompson and do not reflect the views of talkrealsolutions.com, YouTube, or etc. The content here belongs to Talk Real Solutions and its many contributors. Views and opinions expressed by all contributors belong to them and not talkrealsolutions.com or Tyrone Thompson, the host, or etc. All data and information provided on the site is for informational purposes only. Talk Real Solutions makes no representations as to accuracy, completeness, correctness, suitability, or validity of any information on this site and will not be liable for any errors, omissions, or delays in this information or any losses, injuries, or damages arising from its display or use. All information is provided on an as-is basis.
Let me see if I'm live.
Yes, it is, man.
All right. Welcome to the show. This is Talk Real Solutions, and I am your host tonight, Tyrone Thompson. I want to thank you for tuning in. Today is September the 7th, 2023, and I want to invite you to go to talkrealsolutions.com, and you'll find the 3-point plan to Black empowerment and financial freedom. It has 3 points. The first point is to get together with like-minded people. The second point is to stop all unnecessary spending and save your money. The third point is, as a unit, invest or save your money in a verified and trusted institution. A great goal would be for you to open a Black-owned business. And right above the 3-point plan, you have a link to African-American-owned banks and African-American-owned credit unions. We could all start moving our money to these institutions to start practicing group economics today. And if you want to peruse and browse the website, you'll see that we put up articles that we talk about here on the show. And that's where you can find the archive of most of our discussions in the form of, these articles. You can click around and read some of the stuff that we put up in the past. And if you want to participate in the show tonight, all you have to do is call the number at 717-908-1834 and hit the participant code at 917324. And then I'll get you, I think it's *61, and then I'll get you on the line if you want to join the conversation. Tonight, we'll be talking about a lot of things. I'll give you guys a brief summary of where I've been. And there's some social media news, and of course, one of my favorite subjects is politics, and there's some political news, and I'll try to hit on all of that stuff in the regular old Tyrone fashion, like I do, because y'all know how I do. I be calling these jokers out, and I'm right 99.9% of the time, and some of these jokers just can't take it. They cannot take it. What's up, Frodo? How you doing tonight, man? So what I'll do, I guess I'll wait and see if some more people join in before I get into what happened to me. And I'll just mention a couple of things that is going on social media and in politics right quick. Because it's important. It's important, and the reason I say that politics is important because I'm in an area on social media where I hear, the failings of civic education in our community, and I think that's why it's important to keep politics in the conversation, because a lot of people just threw up their hands and just gave up on politics and not having a correct understanding of how important it is. We hear that all the time. Whenever you're talking about the Black conscious community, and they're talking about, well, you're on a political plantation and the Democrats is controlling you and all that kind of dumb shit that people repeat on social media because somebody has implanted that line of thinking into their head, and that's very dangerous, and it's hard to undo. I guess you guys know that. And I've been trying to do what I can to educate people on politics and try to explain to them how important it is. Because if you just look at the political environment now, and you just look at the other side. Now, I'm just assuming that the most of the people that listen to me, you have a tendency, or you're leaning left, or more progressive in your thinking. So if you just, and I'm saying the other side because, you got two parties, and the other side would be the Republicans. If you just look at the other side and you look at how they have taken over politics and pushing agendas, and they have taken over the House of Representatives and pushing agendas. Jim Jordan is actually in a position to where he's interfering with the legal process. He did it in the Alvin Bragg's case in New York when he was going against Trump, and he's doing it with Fannie Willis because they have power. They have political power. So they've got power, and they're using it wrong, of course, but they've got power, and they're able to use that power to do whatever they want to politically and legally, right? So if you take a look at our side, we are so ill-informed on how the politics work that we don't understand that if we do take control of the political party that we're supporting, you can have that same type of power and insert agendas or policies that benefit our community. But it takes work. We got to understand politics first, and we got to get involved, and we got to not throw up our hands when it don't go our way, and then start tearing down the whole system, psychologically or mentally, like we do, because it don't go our way, because there is a lot of corruption in that system on both sides, right? And it's frustrating to watch these politicians just lie and then not keep their promises. And with our history in this country, coming out of slavery, we're expecting things to get done. We're expecting to right this ship, and it's just not happening through politics. There have been some progress, right? But it's not been the progress enough to say that, politics have made this big difference. Of course, when you had the civil rights movements and all of that kind of stuff, and affirmative action and all of these things, right, that was getting approved, that benefited our community greatly. You can say politically it was working then, but now the politics just ain't working for us, because you've got different people and different groups just taking over the side of the politics that we're, it's like they say the Democrats have a big umbrella. And this big umbrella where you got women fighting for rights, you got transgenders fighting for rights, you got gays fighting for rights, you got Asians fighting for rights, you got Hispanic people fighting for rights, and they're all on the left, right? So our problems, the black community in this country, seem to be, tamped down. But what I'm trying to say is we got to make our problems the largest problems. And the way we do that is we continue to point out the deficiencies in this system and how politics can fix it. All you got to do is look at the prison industry, and look at how many black men are locked up, right? Look at access to resources, the financial institutions. Look at access to the colleges. Just like now, they just roll back some affirmative action stuff. I mean, we need to have a loud voice on that type of stuff, right? Look at access to the housing market. Look at access to property. All of those can be political talking points that these politicians pick up and promote for the black community in this country. But somehow or another, we're not doing that. And part of the reason is because there's a lot of people that talk about politics that the first thing they say is, fuck that. I ain't even think about them politics. Fuck the Democrats. Fuck all that. You can't even get the message out there, right? You can't even get the message out there. But anyway, it's important. So I'm going to stop with that right now. And I guess there's a couple of people in the chat room. And I know you guys have heard over the weekend or the past couple of days about the conclusion to the delusion in the black conscious community when it comes to Brother Polite. Now, there has been a determination made with Brother Polite. I don't have any of the audios, but please just YouTube it, because the hold on for a minute, guys. I'm trying to. Okay, I want to close that and close that. Okay, yeah, just YouTube it, and you'll see that Brother Polite is a child molester. I didn't have time to go download the court documents like I normally do. And so I'll just Google it and share this with you guys, right? So I just Googled it, and here's the bigger story with Brother Polite. And I've always said this about the Black conscious community. I don't give a shit. Whenever I started paying attention to the Black conscious community, like everyone else, I've seen some good in having these conversations in our community, right? Especially when it comes to waking people up as far as religion. I've seen some benefit in having those debates. I've seen some benefits in calling out historical misinformation so people can educate themselves. I've seen some benefits in realizing the continent of Africa is very important when it comes to everybody on this planet. I've seen some benefits in all of that stuff, right? But as I paid more attention to the conscious community, it was all about clout. It was all about who can make money off of this niche. It was all about I'm going to say what I need to say to get the bigger following, so I can get more AdSense on YouTube or more donations. That's what the conscious community has turned into, right? And I can point to Umar Johnson or Tariq Nasheed or Sonetta TV to make this point whenever Umar Johnson is making all these false promises about what he's going to do for Black boys and building a Black school, and it never manifests, right? And then you have Nasheed out there making these hidden color movies where he's plagiarizing a lot of people and misleading people in the information. Now, some of it is accurate, but if you look at some of that stuff and you say, okay, well, that's just not true, then you can't put no weight in what he's doing, right? And then you got the Boyce Watkins with the financial institutions lying to Black people, saying that he's gonna raise Black people up by making them financial literate and all that kind of bullshit, right? So the whole conscious community, to me, back in the day, became this big old bowl of bullshit, right? You had the young pharaohs out there, just he was grabbing money left and right and promising that he was going to create this daycare, and you have other people in the conscious community that just straight up look at the Black community as marks and what they can get from the Black community, right? And at the same time, because it's been going on 10 years now that we've been on the platform, and you have seen no progress forward when it comes to this Black conscious bullshit, right? And a lot of people are really entertained by the debates because you got characters that actually are very well spoken and very articulate and educated in their certain field, and they can articulate themselves well and hold a great debate that is entertaining. But people put more on it than just it being entertaining, right? People put hopes in these individuals. People look at these people as somebody that's going to save them, right? And do something right for the Black community, right? So whenever you're talking about Brother Polite, he wasn't afraid to actually say that up front, is I'm doing this for my people, right? I'm giving you this ancient Egyptian knowledge to educate my people. I'm giving you this knowledge on the Bible to educate my people. I'm trying to create this land deal to help my people. He wasn't afraid to announce that this niche that he was exploiting, which is our people, he wasn't afraid to say that, and a lot of people were drawn to that, like dumbass ABC. I mean, you can have a conversation with ABC right now, and he would tell you that, you know, well, where else is black people going to get information from? This is what he will say about the conscious community. This is what he said about young Pharaoh. This is what he said about a lot of people on social media that is looking at the black community as marks and taking our money. And I'm just using him because I remember him saying stuff like that, right? Where else is people going to get educated from? Because he's looking for a savior, right? And a lot of our people out there, nigga, you did. Well, you don't remember whenever you was playing Young Pharaoh's audio on here, and I would come down here and I would try to tell you about how fraudulent this guy was. You was like, well, Tyrone always trying to tear these people down. Right? Right? And see, and even when you say that they have good info, that is some bullshit. They don't have good info. You would probably say Brother Polite have good info. That's because the discernment, people don't know how to discern in our community and actually put the frauds to one side and actually go with somebody with legitimate, bona fide information. Because every time you look at a con artist or a scammer or a grifter, they're not going to come to you as a con artist, scammer, or grifter. They're going to come to you dressed up in suit and tie, shiny shoes, well-spoken, articulate, and they're going to try to fulfill that need that you're looking for. That's what they do. You're not going to get grifted or get scammed by somebody that you can identify as a scammer. If you can identify somebody as a scammer, the first thing that you're going to do is turn the hell around and walk away from them. So that's why they got to put on this facade, right? That's why they got to create this mindset, this environment, put on these costumes so you can be attracted to them. You know, and as I think about it, that's the same thing that happens in our churches, right? Preacher driving a big old car. That man got some information because he got that big old car. Preacher driving wearing a nice suit. The preacher articulate, right? Well-spoken. So you're going to sit in that congregation in those pews and listen to that man who looks successful, who looks like he can offer you something, right? That's what you're going to do. Now, look, I need to take a pause for 1 second. So I'm going to get back into this, but something just happened, and I need to pause for 1 second. I'm not going anywhere. I just got to go handle some business right quick. So hold on. I hope YouTube don't ban me for doing this. So hold on for 1 second. All right, and I'm back. I apologize for that intermission or break, but I had to handle some business. But here's what I'm saying is you're not going to be attracted to someone that looks like a bum. Even though that bum might have all the same information that guy with that suit and tie and shiny shoes and well-spoken and articulate, he may have the exact same information that guy has. You're not going to follow that bum because that bum don't look like he can offer you anything. But if you take that same bum, if you take that same convict, you dress him up, you put him on a dashiki, you put some onks around his neck, right? And he's well spoken and articulate. He done washed up, shaved. You're gonna listen to that guy, right? You're not gonna follow a child molester because you know that person is a pervert and they violate children. You can take that same child molester, put him on a suit, give him some necklaces and some rings. He's well articulate. You know, you're going to listen to that child molester. And that's what you got with Brother Polite. You know, and I just Googled an article pertaining to this brother, this sick motherfucker. And it says celebrity critics. And it's dated September the 7th. And we'll go over this information. I don't have any audio right now of what happened. But Brother Polite, sentenced to 7 years. Okay? 7 years. What does that mean? That means that everything that we said about that sick individual, everything that we said about him and that child down in Florida and all that he done, I mean, the judge and the justice system seen that this stupid motherfucker actually did this to this child. Brother Polite Brother Polite trial is a legal event that has gained widespread attention involving a well-known motivational speaker facing serious charges. Brother Polite, a figure known for his motivational speaker and author role, has gained prominence in the public eye. He projects an image of being pro-black and conscious, advocating for the empowerment and enlightenment within the African American community. That's what I was speaking of earlier. Right? That's the image that he puts on. That's what you're attracted to. For this black empowerment. It don't matter if it's coming from a child molester. The image that you are attracted to is somebody trying to preach to you that they are here for black empowerment and uplifting black people and enlightening black people. That's what you're attracted to, right? That persona. It doesn't matter how dirty, how disgusting this person is. You, as a conscious follower, is attracted to this idea that somebody is going to enlighten you. Right? However, a notable aspect of his online presence often involves around the conspicuous display of wealth and an entourage of women. With multiple wives and frequent images featuring alongside him women on his Facebook page, Brother Polite persona appears to be intertwined his message of empowerment with a lifestyle that draws significant attention and discussion. Brother Polite trial charges dropped. Brother Polite trial charges dropped or sentences to 7 years. Okay, so what that's referring to, right, is the day that he got sentenced to 7 years on that Zoom trial. On his Instagram, he put up a post saying that his charges was dropped. Now, Brother Polite is, and I always give him credit for being intelligent, right? But he always used wordplay and try to manipulate what actually went on, right? So he said charges dropped, and ain't nobody dropped no charges. He made a plea deal and got the 7 years. When the other charges, and I remember hearing that the other charges, like an individual charge was 30 years, 30 years in jail. This charge was 30 years in jail. The other charge was 30 years in jail. So he pled to get these 7 years, right? So, and you can hear the mother say that, you know, she didn't want to drag her daughter through all of that stuff. So she accepted the plea deal. The legal saga surrounding Brother Polite, a prominent motivational speaker and author, has taken a tumultuous turn, leaving followers and the public bewildered. Initially, Brother Polite declared on his Instagram account that all the charges against him had been dropped. A statement reverberated widely amongst his supporters, like ABC. However, recent developments tells a starkly different story. Contrary to his assertions, media outlets have reported that Brother Polite opted for a guilty plea in a deeply troubling case involving an alleged molestation of his girlfriend's daughter. The shocking revelation culminated in a sobering 7 years in prison sentence and a 10-year probation period and a substantial $25,000 restitution order. Let me say that again. That is not someone who's innocent having the charges dropped. So it says it accumulated in 7 years in prison sentence, a 10-year probation period, and a $25,000 restitution order. If you are innocent, you would not have to be liable for any of the things that I just said. If you are innocent, if things was dropped, none of what I just said would exist. You would be able to say, okay, I'm innocent, I'm walking out the door, have a nice day. If you owe $25,000 after your court case, if you have to do 7 years in prison, if you have a 10-year probation period, then you are guilty. What's up, MJ? I know I've been away for a while. I'm trying to teach ABC some shit that he ain't listening to. So so this means that he's guilty. Regardless of what he put on his Instagram, the guy is guilty of molesting that child, allegedly. This abrupt twist in the narrative has triggered a maelstrom of emotions, dividing his fan base and the public, grappling with the implications. Some express their outrage of delusionment, feeling betrayed by the figure they once admired. That's ABC. Well, I don't know if ABC probably supported dumbass. While others perceived the sentence as a long-awaited justice. The uncertain future of Brother Polite, once charismatic influencer and motivational speaker, self-improvement, now hangs in the balance. The legal ordeal has cast a shadow on his legacy, impacting his reputation and the lives of those who once looked up to him for guidance and inspiration. Brother Polite, charged with sexual battery. Michael Nowak Jr., a widely recognized as Brother Polite, is in the center of a deeply troubling legal matter. The 37-year-old motivational speaker and author surrendered to the authorities, facing allegations of sexual battery involving a 14-year-old girl. In February, the incident in a hotel room. According to the police report, Nowak had a romantic connection with the girl's mother and had asked permission to take the teenager to an after party at a Miami club. When the club turned out to be closed, he took the girl to the hotel. Disturbingly, the report details Nowak provided the minor with alcohol and engaged in inappropriate behavior, including groping her breasts, inner thighs, and buttocks. The allegation further states he attempted to coerce the teen into performing oral sex. The situation escalated when the young girl reportedly lost consciousness, only awakening with Nowak attempting to induce vomit. Her condition was exacerbated by severe swelling on her mouth and lips, suggesting that a distressing turn of events We don't know what the swelling on the mouth and lips was for, but I can only imagine that these sick motherfuckers did something terrible to this child. This is the motivational speaker. This is the conscious community, right? This is the conscious community. This sick motherfucker did something terrible to this child. I can't even, the reason that it pisses me off is because as we look at the history and the evolution and the climb of Brother Polite and how many people were standing on the street blocks or street corners of New York wanting to debate Brother Polite because they gave him street cred in the conscious community, how platforms was offering this child molester an opportunity to spread his message, and how many people that I've come in contact with that defend this sick motherfucker. This is what pisses me off about. This is why I don't fuck with the black conscious community, because you don't have the mental ability to discern and tell who's screwing you over. People get mad when I call these people's pieces of shits out. And I said this years ago when Brother Polite was doing his thing, when all of these people on Sonetta TV that's trying to manipulate people and selling them fucking goddamn water in a bottle and fucking green fucking juice and whatever the fuck, Dr. Sabi bullshit. I know people gonna get mad about that too, but that was a fucking charlatan too. May he rest in peace. But, you know, I don't talk bad about the ones that's passed on, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Our community is so lost that anybody can come up with these great ideas about helping the community out, and we fall for it immediately, right? We fall for it. And you know, it's a product. The reason that we're like that, and you know, and I draw a straight line back to slavery, right? That's the reason that we're like that. Coming out of slavery, we was looking for help. So they gave us that damn Bible. They said you can find your help in this book, and you're gonna get relieved when you die. Because in this book, it tells you the only way where you're going to get any type of salvation, the only way that you're going to have any type of happiness is when you pass on. Down on this earth, you're going to be suffering. That's what that book is telling us, is they want us to live on this fucking planet and suffer and die to get our happiness. So having that in the back of our minds coming out of slavery, and then we start turning that stuff loose, you're looking for something to replace it, right? A lot of people have turned it loose. You know, a great deal of our community still go to church, and I ain't hating on those people, but I'm just telling you about the mindset right now. And if you can't take it, you can't take it. I'm here to tell you the goddamn truth. But a lot of people have let that go and replaced it with this conscious community shit, right? Talking about your chakras, talking about the spirits and the energy, right? A lot of people have replaced that Bible with this metaphysics bullshit that they think is a solution.
Spirituality is where we come from. That's who we is. That's what sets us apart from everybody else. We are spirits. We ain't thinking like that. We spirits.
We spirits. This is what the fuck you get Brother Polite able to control stupid motherfuckers like that who think that he's Casper the fucking ghost. That's what the fuck you get. And I'm picking on ABC because that's the only audio I got, but you got a lot of motherfuckers out there saying some crazy shit just like you just heard. So these charlatans just ease right on in and say, Casper, the friend of the ghost, I got you. Let me give you this ankh. Let me give you this story about how you come from kings and queens, right? Let me tell you how to engage your chakras. Let me tell you how to get in touch with the universe, right? All this metaphysical bullshit. Let me tell you how to heal your body through this alkaline diet. Why don't you drink this green juice and you'll be healthier than a motherfucker, right? This is what the fuck you get. And that's what pisses me off is our community is so vulnerable, right? I love my people, but we're so vulnerable that we fall for all that shit all the time. You know, there's a lot of us, you know, the majority of our, you know, that the people that have been constant TRS listeners. Now, I got to give y'all credit. Y'all don't listen to that shit. Some may stray. But a lot of people got common sense that listen to Talk Real Solution, and y'all don't listen to that shit. But a lot of our community falls for that bullshit, right? And that's what happened with Brother Polite. And not only that, and I don't blame the community more than I blame the charlatan. I don't blame the community more than I blame the charlatan, because the charlatan is being manipulative. The charlatan is a liar. The charlatan is a Trojan horse, a wolf in sheep's clothing, right? And he's here to trick you. And that's what this idiot, this fucking sick piece of shit did to this little girl's mama down in Florida. You see? He got her in a place to where she was vulnerable, and she trusted him, and she trusted him with one of the most precious things a parent can have, which is their child. You see? And then once she trusted him, he just took advantage of it. Let me get back to this article. I mean, it pisses me off that we have this condition in our community where black people are just, I don't know, batshit crazy. Okay, so hold on. Where was I at? Whew. The situation escalated when the young girl reportedly lost consciousness, only awakened with Nowak attempting to induce vomit. Her condition was exacerbated by severe swelling on her mouth and lips, suggesting a distressing turn of events, right? In a startling revelation, the reports also claimed that Nowak urged the girl's mother not to involve law enforcement, asserting that it would have detrimental consequences for his career. While these are grave allegations, Nowak's defense attorney, David Tyrone, maintains his client's innocence. Tyrone asserts that once the evidence is presented, Nowak will be forgiven, categorically declaring him not guilty. The case unfolds amidst a backdrop of complex motives, hidden factors, and it remains to be seen how it will ultimately be resolved. Now, listen, I don't know what was going through that mother's mind, but what she kind of shared it with us, that she didn't want to expose her daughter to any longer to recalling these traumatic events, and that's why she agreed to the plea. But I just wish she would have went the whole fucking goddamn way with this shit. I just wish they would have went to a trial of a jury, right? Not a plea, a jury trial. So this man can feel the full weight of what the fuck he did, because it's disgusting. And if you look at his Instagram page, right, you still see idiots, stupid people, programmed cult followers still following this guy. Still. Okay, so let me do it like this right here. I don't know if you guys see that, but this is his Instagram. And the day of the sentencing or the plea, this is the video that was put up. Okay, so I can't get in my Instagram. So I'm gonna back up. This is the video that was put up of him in a club saying those charges were dropped. And this is the imagery that he put out there on the day that the sentence or the plea was met. Now, this is some of the manipulation that comes from this guy. And if you see like this girl holding the sign, this guy taking pictures of Polite, there's a bunch of dumb, idiot motherfuckers in our community. Why would you want to be in the same vicinity as somebody who's accused of abusing the fucking child? What the hell wrong with these people? What the hell wrong with these people? It's just sickening. It's just sickening. So I'm glad that something happened to this guy. But it's also sad to watch my community still support this guy partially, right? We've gotten into a era in humanity to where I don't know if it's for popularity or if it's just for notoriety or whatever. A lot of people still support people that are guilty. I don't get it. It used to be a time if you was guilty of something, you was cast to the side, and then you got somebody new to push that message or whatever. But now it doesn't matter because Umar Johnson lied to you about that school, but you still support him. Boris Watkins and Charles Wu manipulated the black community, but you still support him. Brother Polite scam is charged with all of these charges, and he scammed people out of money, but you still support him. Sonetta TV was taking money out of a community, and I don't know what the fuck he was doing with it, but you still support him. I don't get it. Why don't you move along to somebody else that's not going to make our community look bad, right? And I have to give it to the charlatans because they know if they stick around, they're going to be some of our community, like that dumbass ABC, that is still going to promote it. You see what Brother Polite done? Not Brother Polite, but what's that? Young Pharaoh. There's going to be people still supporting him. I don't get it. All right, so listen, real quick, and I see you on unknown caller. I want to address something, and I titled the show "What Happened to Tyrone," and I'll share this with you guys because y'all know I'm a private person, but I don't give a shit. I'll tell you. Why I was gone for so long is it was the medical reasons. Y'all know I was in the Army, and being in the Army, I got injured. So what happened recently was I had degenerative disc in my lumbar spine and my upper spine, right? So over the years of being in the Army, carrying rucksacks and doing all that kind of bullshit, made my condition worse. And not only that, while I was in the Army station in Germany, we was on a convoy getting ready to deploy, and a motor vehicle hit my Humvee in the back, and that made my condition worsen, right? So over the years, I was able to deal with the pain, and it got worse and worse and worse and worse over time. And lately, about the past, 3 or 4 years, my back would get to a place to where I couldn't walk. It was just painful. I couldn't get up. I couldn't do nothing. I was barely making it to the damn bathroom whenever these events happen. And it was so painful. I can't even describe the pain that I would go through whenever my back would go out. So as this was a last resort, I had to have surgery on my lumbar spine, right? And they had to, of course, hospitalize me, knock me out with anesthesia, cut my back open like they filleting a damn fish, and go in there and take, I think it was L5 and S1, I think that's the tailbone. They had to do something to those two bones and then put in a titanium brace. And that's where I've been for the last couple of weeks, right? Trying to recover. And I'm not fully recovered because after this surgery, they say it takes about 3 months and it was a spinal fusion. It was a bone fusion, spinal fusion surgery that they're doing on me, that they did on me. So as they said, it takes about 3 months for the bones to fuse back together, and from there it's about 9 months before it's fully healed. So with this surgery, I actually had additional complications, right? Because now, after the surgery, I think they did good in the back, but right now my left leg is like, I don't know what the hell going on with my left leg. I got all these pains, these shooting pains down my left leg and all this kind of stuff. And I hope during my recovery process that gets better. So that's where I've been. I was hospitalized for back surgery, and last week I just did not feel like doing anything because they had me on all kind of crazy medicines. And my mindset won't there. And this week I barely made it, but I'm here. And as you guys can tell, my mind is in the right place, and I'm all right, but I've still got to go through a long recovery with my back. And then, yeah, I can share this with you guys. I'm trying to use the VA to do all of this stuff, right? And I love the military and I love the VA, but I'm just going to say this, that organization got some problems. And that's just not the best organization that I should be using for this, because they're lacking in a lot of areas. So I got to deal with that. I got to deal with the fact that I had the surgery, and I got to deal with the pain and recovery and all that kind of stuff. And it's just been a process. And I don't know if you guys have ever been in any type of pain, any type of chronic pain, but if you're in pain constantly, everything else in the world just kind of fades away. You don't want to do nothing. At one point in time, I didn't feel all this pain, so I didn't mind doing shit. I didn't mind sitting on this damn radio for 8 hours. But whenever you feel in pain, chronic pain, it's like there's nothing else on this. There's nothing else on your mind except for that pain, and everything else kind of fades away, and you're not really interested in anything else. You're just hoping that you can find some type of solution to get rid of this pain, and it's just constant all the time. It's depressing. So you're not really in your right mind. And for me, honestly speaking, it's been an ongoing process dealing with pain for years with me, and that's why y'all probably seen me pull away a little bit and try to, not be as prominent on this social media as I was. About 2 years ago, y'all see me taking pictures with my damn shirt off because I was feeling good, and I didn't mind. There wasn't nothing going on with me. I guess about 2 or 3 years ago when I was lifting weights and all that kind of stuff, but I was all right. But all of a sudden, this stuff started kicking in, and it's been one battle after another, fighting with the VA to get them to look at me, fighting with the VA to get them to get me to the right doctor, planning the surgery. And then not only that, them not paying attention to me hurting. And it sucks, but I'm all right. It's just kind of depressing. The VA medical industry trying to handle this stuff. And I've got civilian care. I'm not even going to share all that with y'all, but I think I'm going to start making videos about my medical care, because there is some bullshit going on with the medical industry. Me being a 56-year-old man, and the way that they dealing with me, I know there's a lot of people getting mistreated, and it's just crazy. But I'll probably share that in another form. But just to let you guys know, that's where I've been. And that's why I've not been here. And then one more thing while I'm talking about my back, and I don't know where Top Dollar is or Howard is or whatever the fuck, but listen to what I'm saying. And I want to share ABC, I want you to pay attention. Howard, I want you to pay attention. I want all of y'all to pay attention to this story right here, right? When I was in the hospital, the day of my damn surgery, now, because Howard is the only one that I told that I was going into the damn surgery. The day of probably Howard, and I think I messaged Lisa. But the day of my surgery, Howard called my damn phone in the hospital. And this is what he said. He said, Tyrone, ABC is on the conference call. And he's not letting nobody talk. And I said, Howard, listen, brother, I understand what you're saying, but I'm in the hospital. I just got out of surgery. And I'm not going to deal with that now. So he kind of cut me off as a tip, but can you? And I hung up on him. And I was like, okay, well, this motherfucker crazy. I just told him I was in the hospital. And then, not only that, I hung up on him because I was fucking sick. And then he called me back in the hospital. And I said, what the fuck? And so I didn't answer that call. I just let it ring. I thought I was done with him. And then I get a message on my phone, Tyrone, can you please change the password so I can kick ABC off the line? I was like, man, this dude is sick with ABC. ABC, I don't know what you be doing in that goddamn conference call, but you need to let people talk, I guess, because it's so important that with my back split wide open like a fucking fish fillet, you got Howard calling me in the goddamn hospital trying to make you do shit. I don't know what the fuck that was about, but that's the story I got. So I'm going to shut up because I've been running my mouth, and I got a couple of callers here and Sister Lisa on the line. So caller, who is this?
Oh, Tyrone. Yeah, Tyrone, is this Bible school?
Okay, so we got Joe.
School, man.
We got Joe, and who else?
Yeah, hello. Is this my line, Tyrone?
Hey, what's going on, Mrs. Solutions?
Look here, Tyrone, I'm glad to hear you back. You know, I know you talk mucho grandiose shit, but as you did when you came back, I listened to you just a little bit. But look here, on a more serious note, and you are a funny guy, by the way. You're funny as hell. Look, did you look into regenerative surgery, like stem cell? Stem treatment?
During this process, what they did was they used some stem cells in my fusion surgery.
Oh, okay. Well, I heard you mention, and I'm sorry you had that problem. Let me ask you this: do you think you exacerbated the problem by lifting weights improperly?
Well, anything is possible. You know, I don't know. I know that it started years ago, and I know it was in the military where I was carrying rucksacks and heavy weights and all that kind of stuff. And over time, you know, and I told you about the vehicle accident. So, you know, with degenerative disc, you know, hell, you use your back for everything. So, I mean.
Well, yeah, absolutely. No, because I had somewhat of a similar problem, but almost nothing like you described. Mine was painful just a little bit, and in my arm there was a little bit of pain, but I'm going to take some collagen, and it may go away. But look here, this is no guarantee. If you don't take care of it, that it will stay in good stead. In other words, you really have to look after your back and your back health.
Well, yeah, of course.
More so than you would have had you not had this condition, correct?
Of course, because, you know, once they took the L5 out or whatever, and the bone gonna fuse together, that movement in my back don't exist no more. So, of course, I've got to be, you know, vigilant about not doing things anymore, and I just got to be careful with a fused spine, you know, basically.
Yeah, well, if you don't mind talking about this just a moment, do you?
No, go ahead.
Yeah, okay, thanks. No, well, you know, doctors, let me just say, I like doctors. I like to stay away from them. I like to get, you know, advice from them. I'm sort of a holistic guy. But, you know, in several situations, that's the first thing they went to. I never will forget it. They wanted to fuse stuff. Yeah. Let's fuse Now, mine was a little bit higher up than yours. You said back. Mine was up near my neck because I was rear-ended. A person hit me. A woman actually hit me. And, they say this, it can get worse over the years, as we age a little bit.
Right.
But mine appears to have reversed just through healthy living. I noticed the pain because when one is backing up, you have to look back. I always look back. I don't just trust the camera. And, of course, that became painful. And you are correct. When one is in pain, everything else sort of, evaporates. It's just that pain. And that stresses one the hell out, too. Yep. But I would say, I'm glad you said stem cells, but there are doctors right now that say stem cells can completely repair it. They do the blood first. I don't know if they did the centrifuge and took the stem cells out of your blood, and or they also, which is the more invasive, but they say it's not too bad. They go into your middle section, your pelvic region, and they get the stem cells from there if those from the blood doesn't work. But no, instead of getting the fusion, now this is just for future reference, or if you meet someone else, I would look into the stem cell as a primary means of treatment. And as far as the VA, you talked about them too. You don't feel that they offer adequate service at all?
No, not
for that type of situation?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I also
and listen. Okay, so let me. I got to explain this a little bit more. The VA, you've got the doctors, you got the nurses, you got patient advocate, and you got different areas that kind of handle your case, right? So whenever it get to a certain level in the VA process is when it falls off, and where I'm having a problem at is whenever it get referred to community care. That's part of the VA. That's where it falls off at. And the people that work for
community care and private doctors the same? Because I understood that people at the VA level could also be referred to a private doctor if they weren't getting adequate treatment at the VA. Is that your experience?
So community care is a section that refers you to the private doctor. Now the private doctor you don't have a problem with. It's just the people that work in community care that is handling your case.
Okay, sounds good. Well, look here, I'm glad to hear you back, even if you talk grandiose shit, which you love to do. And by the way, I was going to call in about the Bible, and look, maybe as you get older, I think you may change. But everything is not just promised to anyone in heaven, also on earth. And if you had, I won't call you ignorant, but if you had more knowledge of the Bible, let me just give you a quote. Jesus said that I have come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. And that deals with the here and now, not the here and after. And God is not responsible if he's delivered information that we refuse to ferret out, that we refuse to pursue. And I've confronted pastors with that information too, and a lot of them can't even answer that. Jesus said, I have come that you might have life, and that life more abundantly. That is now, not in the hereafter. But I just wanted to leave that with you, but glad you're back, and I hope you really improve, because I like kicking your ass. I'm just going to tell you, I love you as a pin. I love you as a pin cushion, Tyrone. You are a dear pin cushion. Carry on.
All right. Well, thank you. And who line did I open?
What's going on, man?
Okay, so we got Jay, and then I got Miss Elisa line open. So let's get Joe. What you got, Joe?
No, I was going to say, we were discussing a few weeks back, now with the benefit of time, we can look back and see how guys like ABC have worshipped all these charlatans. Because I remember clearly him and Ken and a bunch of other dudes talking about, oh, you tearing down the black man, black man's trying to do this, that, and the other thing, and all you do is talk bad about him and tear him down. And now we have the benefit of time. We can look back and see that these dudes is hustlers, and nobody from that side wants to talk about that. See?
Yep.
Even though, some of us could look at them and see the hustle. These dudes was willing to believe. Young Pharaoh with his UFOs. I mean, the list goes on. So, it's kind of sad that that you have guys like ABC that get on every week and, call themselves advocating for black people when they don't even own their L's, man. Own your L, brother. You was talking up all of these dudes, how good they are for black people and blase. Own your L, nigga. They was hustlers. Say what it is, say it for what it is. I was wrong, ABC. I was misguided. I was wrong. I should not have advocated for them because they turned out to be hustlers. And you talk about discernment, nigga. Why don't you discern who you're advocating for now? Playing Tucker Carlson clips, playing old Larry Elder clip, whoever the hell you playing, you still doing it. So that's all I'm saying, man. It's just funny now, how folks are caught in a loop, in a habit of just being fleeced over and over. I mean, come on, man. How many times has somebody got to bend you over before you realize you're getting dick? How many times? So I guess it's just some folks either like the dick or they like being bent over or they just don't realize that it's happening. So I'm just going to leave it at that, man. I'm watching the game. It's a good game, actually. Detroit's kicking ass for team. But anyway, I'll sit to the side because I know he's going to...
Those are wise words of wisdoms, Joe. Mr. J. New York, how you doing, man? Welcome to the show.
Hey, man. All right, man. Glad you made it out. That's the first thing. Surgery is dangerous. Whether they cutting you open for, putting stitches or they doing some back surgery, which is even real serious. So good that you were able to make it out.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, a lot going on. I just say that, to the topic that you were speaking on in the beginning, which I'm pretty sure you get into more later. This so-called Brother Polite is no different than a Donald Trump. I just say there's a lot of similarities to the same thing. I say same con game is just a black man, or if you want to say he's camouflaging black, I don't know, but doing the same type of things that Donald Trump and a lot of his people have done to people in this country. So scamming them, telling them that they got the answer to their problems, that they're gonna fix the problems, and buy my book, buy my subscription, buy my whatever, buy my audio, listen to me speak at a conference, those type of things. So I say there's a lot of similarities, and in regards to what's happened in the last week or two, which I'm pretty sure again you will get into. I would like to hear where Sarge is hiding at, what bunker he's coming out of, because the Proud Boys and a lot of these people are now in prison, and I haven't seen them, the tough guys come out and shoot shit up, stop them from going to court again. The same scenario. Here they got their leader, and now they surrendered. They went to court. Nobody from the Proud Boys and all these tough guys did anything about it. They let their leaders go to prison. And Navarro, they ain't paying his fees. Giuliani, same thing. So it's a whole line of things that's been happening in the last couple of weeks, which, again, I know you're getting into, but just for people that's listening right now, strap on your seatbelts. Glad you back, brother.
Yeah, man. As far as politics go, I mean, there's no help for Sarge or ABC or anybody else that supports the right. And you can see that these court cases, these people have got criminal charges on them, and they're at risk of going to jail behind these criminal charges. And if ABC and Sarge still wants to support those guys, even though we see the evidence, they're living in a delusional world and pretending like the law don't exist, like they didn't commit any crimes and all this kind of stuff, and they're just going to be stuck on stupid. They're just dumb. There is no other excuse. There's no help for them motherfuckers. Howard's always calling me talking about, well, Sarge don't really believe that. Yes, Sarge is a dumbass. Sarge is one of the biggest dumbasses that I've ever talked to. I don't hate the man, but there's something wrong with that man. There is something legitimately wrong with that man fucking brain cells to continue to promote Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, like you said, is just like Brother Polite. He has not provided any evidence of any of his claims, and all of this shit is taking him straight down the rabbit hole. The like you said, the Proud Boys got sentenced to a lot of time. The Oath Keepers got sentenced to a lot of time, and these are the same people that was in Minnesota that ABC said was fighting for his goddamn freedoms. ABC's just a dumbass. But yeah, you right, man. Miss Elisa,
and
go ahead.
And real quick, both of them, Polite, Trump. What was the result of the people that followed? That's all. You can answer that in your own mind for those that are listening. I'll leave it there. And thank you for again coming back and your health.
Thanks, man. What's up, Miss Elisa? Welcome to the show. How you doing tonight, sis?
I'm doing okay. Hi, guys. Tyrone, it's good to hear you back. I was a little worried about you. And I was telling my mom when you said you couldn't do the show. What was that the first week when you told me what was going on?
Yeah.
And the second week, I was like, I wonder if you had overdid it after your surgery. And then last week, I had my own problems going on. And but I was worried about you, but I'm glad to hear that you're back. And I know you know to take care of yourself. I know you know that. And I think your surgery will be a success if you think it's going to be a success.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm real hopeful for that. But like last week, I even if you were going to do a show, I couldn't because, as I told you, that my niece passed.
Oh, yeah.
So we're still in the middle of all of that. But the family's coming along. She caught that RSV. You know what I'm talking? You know what that is?
Yes.
That's like that virus. She caught the RSV, and she had been in the hospital for about a month.
Oh no!
And so yeah, she passed. So we're having all the celebrations and everything next week. So it's just been an awful time to everybody, you know.
Yeah, that's a trying time for a family.
Yeah, it's just been an awful time. You going through it. I mean, so it's just been awful. And the niece that I'm speaking of, it's not my three young, I call them young grown. My oldest niece, this is her daughter that passed. Mm-hmm. So the baby had just celebrated her second birthday. So she was 2.
Wow,
so
now that's sad.
Yeah, my oldest niece, her baby. So not I was talking about my nieces. I had 3 nieces. The oldest one, her baby. So, but you know, it just kept everybody on. You know, just to stay on the right. You know, that's everybody. Y'all make sure you have a handle on this when the doctors are talking, and everyone seemed to have a handle on everything. You know, and the rest of the family is doing better than what I actually thought. I'm doing much better than what I actually, thought. So we're good. But I was glad to see when you said that you were going to do the show tonight because I had kind of missed you guys and there was all of that going on. But Tyrone, let me tell you something about that chronic pain that you're talking about. Mm-hmm. You are absolutely right. When you're going through that, nothing else matters. Your quality of life becomes practically nothing because you're only thinking, you're concentrating on the pain and you're concentrating on the relief. Because I went through something not like what you went through. I had trigeminal neuralgia. This was back when I was married. And you're ripping, running. I was with different doctors. They're telling you this and that. And then until you get to the right one that can pinpoint it and show you on MRIs and stuff, this is what it is. They're like, okay, somebody finally knows. And I had it in the middle of my face. And like that, you talking about that back thing you was having? I had to have what's that thing where they stick it and draw fluid out your spinal tap? So I don't know anything messing around. I can only imagine what you went through. But once you're going to have success, because once they pinpoint mine, they have me on the right cocktail. And like the doctors told me, these were some of the best in the country. That eventually the nerve endings is going to die out and it will go away and you don't have to take this nerve medication. And in like 3 years, died out and it went away. So I understand that chronic pain is nothing to fool with. That's why a lot of people, they commit suicide who are living. That's why I feel for people who are living with chronic pain, because nothing matters. It isn't me. Nothing matters when you're going through that kind of stuff. So I can only imagine what you were going through. Your quality of life was affected because you needed something done. So it's going to be a success.
Yeah, it was kind of disappointing. It's kind of disappointing because y'all seen that I was getting into health and fitness and all this kind of stuff, and everything just shut down. I couldn't do anything. So yeah, it really is. It's kind of depressing. You just like you said, nothing matters. So I'm trying to get back right. I got a long way to go, but I'll make it happen.
Well, you have a long way to go. Let's just say that you're gonna get back to where you want to be sooner than what you think. That's what we're gonna go with. You're gonna get back, but enough of sad stuff. This whole, like I sent you that message the other day about Brother Polite.
Yeah.
I forgot who was that came over and told us that his trial was coming up. Was that Big Will or who was that?
It was probably Ant.
On the line.
I remember Ant telling us.
Ant. Yeah, that's who it was. Yeah. And I had forgotten. Well, I had things going on. I had forgotten all about it. Then I saw on YouTube. Someone was streaming it. I said, "Oh my God, it's today!" So since I work from home, I cut the TV on and listen. And listening to the hearing that they were having, a Zoom hearing. And this is the thing that really got me, was Polite's lawyer was speaking to the judge about the people who had logged into the Zoom. And I guess Polite could see, because I saw some at a TV, his little block was up there, different other people. And they wanted the judge to cut all of those people out of the Zoom. This dude is still worrying about YouTube, still worrying about, how this is going to look. He didn't want anyone to listen. And I thought for a moment that they were going to post, they was going to set it, because the judge was like, well, I don't know how to do that. He's like, you're talking about people are listening through YouTube? And well, I don't know how to cut all that off. And then they went back and forth, and then the prosecutor came back and said, well, once this is all over, it's going to be up for public consumption anyway. So the judge said, yeah, that's right. And they went on. And this dude is sitting up facing what he is facing after doing what he has done, and he probably stayed for decades. He's still worrying about his image because he knows some ignorant, stupid people will still buy into what he's trying to sell. Sitting up there in the courtroom, about to be sentenced for not enough, in my opinion, for after reading over and finding out what all was done, he's still trying to put forth a public image. And I didn't know that whole thing that he had posted, so you just said it, that he posted on his IG that all the charges was dropped. And you know why? Because a lot of stupid people will believe it. And a lot of stupid people will run with that narrative and believe it. And then when you find out what happened, then you start that trying to take a good man down, that he was framed. He did. It's that type of stuff. it's too many people. It's people all over. But it's just sad to see so many people from our community will fall for anything, will buy into anything, and get caught up with all these charlatans and grifters and stuff like that. And these people know Polite had been accused and taken to court over scamming years ago. You remember when we talked about a lot of that over here, about the scamming and stuff that he was doing and taking people's money and not producing and not sending out product, just scamming. And people still continue to follow him, and he's still trying to dictate the narrative sitting up in court. That's the thing that got me. Sitting up in court, still trying to dictate the narrative to some stupid idiots on YouTube and IG. It's just crazy. It is. But it's not just us. I'm not going to put that on us. Because look at the magazines and the people who follow Trump. So, and some of us follow Trump too. So it's not just us. But our community loves to fall for this type of foolishness. They do. It's just sad. But 7 years, I think it's because he's in Florida. You have to serve 85%. And then he got 10 years probation. And if he violates his probation, he has to do the whole 61. From what my understanding and reading of what all took place and what he did to that child, he should have gotten the whole 61.
Oh, yeah.
That's just in my opinion. Or at least half of that. He should have gotten 30. He should be in there. I don't know how old Polite is, but he should be in there for good after reading what went on with that child.
Yeah, especially after that mother's impact statement. If you listen to the mother's impact statement, I mean, she broke it down. You know, and that's some sick stuff that boy did.
It was sick. And people were still talking about he didn't do it. When it was put out there that they found DNA on the girl's clothes. They found DNA. His DNA got it off her face. And then we all know what he did, why it was on her face and the bruising. And you all still want to cling. He's not a charlatan. This man, I mean, he is just a complete degenerate. And people, you still want to follow him and make excuses about somebody trying to take him down. It's these people out here trying to shed darkness and stuff on the pro-black movement or whatever that was that Polite was. And people still calling him Brother Polite. Y'all still calling him your brother? I mean, it's terrible.
Yep. I mean, I'm glad that you know, there is some I guess you can say closure to this thing, and I hope people learn, which I don't think they will, because ABC will probably go over there and donate to him. But I hope people learn that, you know, you can't keep listening to these people on social media, and you know, after a while you're gonna have another one pop up full of shit, just like what was that dude name that passed away, Kevin, whatever his name was. He was full of shit.
Yeah.
His whole life was a lie, and people, you know, they put him up on a pedestal. Huh?
You talking about Eddie Long?
No, Kevin. You know, the Kevin dude that passed away. Kevin Samuels.
Oh, Kevin Samuels.
Yeah. He was a charlatan. You know, you're gonna have another one rise up. Just like what's that lady name that got sued by Cardi B, with the big mouth? You know, they gonna keep Tasha K. They're gonna keep popping up left and right because they know that the black community is a mark, and they know that, you know, because of our mindset, they're able to manipulate us in such a way to you know, benefit their pockets. You know, and that's why I don't even mess with these people. You know, you got people like
Tyrone.
Go ahead.
Tyrone, may I jump in again?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Look here, just a couple of things. I want to recommend to you, there's these are all healthy. It's called Relief Factor. You may want to look at that. It addresses inflammation. It has a combination of fish oil and some other natural ingredients. And inflammation is a big problem
Yeah.
with all of us. Stress, bad water, toxins in the environment, all of that induces inflammation. And there's another product called Curamin, Curamin, and it's a natural pain reliever. It basically has that turmeric. It has turmeric in it. You know, it's highly yellow. But anyway, those are two products that can help with inflammation. But look here, I heard you. I don't know the guy that you're speaking of. I've never heard of him till you brought his name up. But I did know Kevin Samuels. And I think for you to conflate Kevin Samuels, well, I just got to say it, you know, because Kevin Samuels did give good, intelligent narratives and advice. Now, you may not have liked the direction that he was going, and what I would encourage you to do is get one of those fat women of your choosing to help, help you through convalescence, help you get back to health.
Well, Mr. Solution, listen, I gave an analogy earlier, right? And Kevin Samuels, he dressed well and he spoke well, and you know he made some points that you agree with, obviously. But my point, the analogy that I gave earlier is if Kevin Samuels was a bum, you would not listen to one word that he said. If Kevin Samuels, listen to what I'm saying. If Kevin Samuels did not create that persona of being a well-dressed man that was handling relationship issues, you know, you wouldn't mess with him otherwise. As a matter of fact, his social media history says that, because whenever he first came on social media, that was not his topic, and he was not being successful until he put on a suit and tie and started, you know, pandering to people like you. So that you're proving my point by saying that, you know, he did Go ahead.
Let me respond to that. Say when you're finished, because I want to respond to that. Because you're giving false information, at least about Kevin Samuels. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying because he made up this persona and said that he was helping people. You looked at him as a savior because of your own personal problems with women. And he was there for you, you know, and you got to realize that. You got to wake up and realize that you don't need Kevin Samuels. You don't need to defend him. He was just another charlatan, just like everybody else. You know, and I don't speak.
Well, let me just say this: what you just have said is categorically bullshit. Okay. Number one, if you would listen to Kevin Samuels, and he would chew you up, your arguments, and spit them out. Because let me just give you the example: Exhibit A.
Okay.
The women lined up to call him about their problems. That's number one. It was initiated by them. The fact that he dressed well and smelled well, hell, Tyrone, he was an image consultant.
But what was he before that?
Hold on, because I agree with you there. He did morph. He went through a metamorphosis. But that's fine. That's called growth. Just like at one time you were knee-high to a duck's ass, but now I guess you're 4'3" now, whatever. But the point is that people grow. Allow people an opportunity to grow. What you're doing is criticizing someone for progress, and that is unacceptable. Okay?
Well, I mean,
you're right. When he first came out, I thought he was homosexual. He was selling fragrances and stuff like that, and I wasn't too interested in that. Although I do like good fragrances, and I'm about to purchase some more, I should say. But, you know, the way you're categorizing him is just so wrong. So what I would encourage you to do to be the upstanding man that I'm sure you want to be is to look in the mirror and evaluate what you are saying. Now,
okay, so what was his to you, what was his biggest contribution?
Well, okay, I'm glad you asked. Kevin Samuels used two premises. Number one was the high-value man, which is recognized in every community throughout the world. And number two, he used marriage. And with those two, he was able to address the tyranny of Western women, that is Canada, some parts of Europe, of course, Australia, New Zealand, and obviously the USA, where women have really become, they have engaged in just outright tyranny against men. And I think the transgender women are going to be somewhat of a natural, and I know since you are an atheist, the only thing you believe in is nature, so nature has a balance. And so I'll just say that the transgender women are going to be the balance for the tyranny of the so-called cisgender or biological women.
Okay.
Nevertheless, those were the two premises which were brilliantly put together. And I listen to a lot of gurus that give relationship advice. There is a problem with men and women. Now,
all right, so listen, before you go too far,
and not
before you go too far, I want to talk about your contribution that you said Kevin Samuels contributed, right? You said the high value man and marriage, right? For one, Kevin Samuels himself was not a high value man, because okay, hold on, wait a minute.
Go ahead. All right, you're right. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
He wasn't a high value man. He was not this 6-figure income earning person, right? Before he got on social media and started getting AdSense money, right?
Right.
So he was not self-made, high value man. So and the second one is marriage. If he was married, I think he got a divorce, and it was a whole bunch of complications with his children and all that kind of bullshit. So the two things that you said that he what contributed to the community was he was a failure at himself. Now that tells me. Let me just finish this thought. That tells me is that you're willing to listen to anything from anybody, even though this guy is not qualified to talk about either subject.
That's bullshit again. Okay, let me address that. Because, see, what you're doing, Tyrone, you're being very infantile and sophomoric in that you are not, N-O-T, not allowing room for growth. By the way, can your back withstand this kind of pressure?
I'm good.
Okay, good. All right. See, what you're doing now, if you just take a moment, just step back, look at it from the 30,000 feet level, and you're right. He wasn't those things. I've analyzed Kevin Samuels much more critically than you have, believe it or not.
Okay.
The thing is, you're right about what you're saying, but can a person grow? Hell yeah, they can. That's what we encourage people to do.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, you're right, Kevin Samuels failed at marriage, but at least he tried. He tried it, and it didn't work, as it doesn't for over half of Americans. But then he grew, and he took the blame, although all of it probably wasn't his. On the other issue, with him being a high-value man, you're right again. A lot of people don't start out as high value, particularly men. Women are normally designated as genetic celebrities. They're born with what they need, all their eggs, and if they are attractive, that is social currency. A man has to work, and you should know this, a man has to work for his presence, for his esteem, for whatever accolades he gets. He has to work for it. And you're right, no one wants to listen to a bum. Why? Because a bum isn't adding value.
Okay, so pause right there. You're right. I agree with you. So if you put that bum on a suit, if you put that bum on a suit and he become articulate, then you will listen to him, because that's exactly what you did when you listened to Kevin Samuels. He was a bum that got dressed up and put on a tie.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
You are not, I don't see you as a bum at all, okay? Understand that. I think you, for all intents and purposes, I think you are a high-value man. But you don't have the articulate skills that Kevin Samuels does.
I know.
Okay, so the point of it is that's a false narrative that you just attempted to go with.
Right.
You
so now
just put a suit. Hold on, let me finish. You can't just put a suit on any bum or even any non-bum and they exceed and succeed. Go ahead.
So what? So you just shared with us what impressed you about him is the way that he was able to articulate things, right? And that is my
Not
whole.
just that.
Listen to what I'm saying. That is my whole.
Okay.
That is my whole point. Because whenever you become a grifter, whenever you become a charlatan, you're able to use the gift of gab to get people like you to push narratives about this false social construct of a high value man that don't exist in society except for on social goddamn media. So you his articulation.
Tyrone,
Wait a minute. His articulation got you to call in here tonight and continue to promote his narrative of this fake ass high value man. Do you get that?
That's not the reason I called in. See, now this is what you do so well. You conflate and you misconstrue things. The reason I called in initially is when you talked about the Bible, you attempted to put it down, and it's the greatest book of which Western society is founded upon. Okay, but when I said to you that Christ stated that we get the blessings of God here and now, not just in the hereafter. And that is completely contrary to what you just said. But now, going back to Kevin Samuels just was the best exemplar, and he articulated the situation between the male and the female better than anyone I've ever heard, and he was fair and balanced with it. And a lot of the women, Tyrone, which you are discounting, you're just going with your own ignorant, biased opinion of him. You're not looking at the people who loved what he said, the women particularly, who lined up every night to get advice. And he offered them advice that dealt with them losing weight, for example, them having a fit, feminine, and friendly attitude, which would bolster their opportunity to get what they wanted in terms of a compatible partner. See, you are discounting all the substantive information because you just don't like him. You're like an unjust judge is what you are. That's what you're utilizing is unjust judge tactics. And let me just tell you respectfully, you should recuse yourself in this particular arena. Now, some of the things, maybe the thing you say about brother whomever you were reciting,
right?
Maybe that's correct. But even when I heard you speak of this guy, haven't you also said that the system shortchanges people in that it convicts them wrongly? Haven't you said that in the past?
Don't cut me off, but listen, if you commit a blatant crime, if you commit sexual assault, if you break the law, I mean, there's no argument there. Whenever I'm talking about wrongful convictions, obviously there's a question about the conviction or whatever. It's not as clear. There was evidence and semen on this child that Brother Polite molested. So, I mean, there's no conversation about wrongful conviction when it comes to this case. So, I mean, that's not even...
Okay, I didn't hear you say that. This is the first time I've heard you talk about that kind of evidence, okay? Now, that's, maybe you said it and I just didn't hear it, but that's the first time. Okay, fine. All right. But I don't know anything about that, so I'm not going to argue with that. I was just arguing with the legal premise. We know that there's a group, the Innocence Project, I believe it is, where they go back and review court cases, and they use DNA evidence.
You don't qualify.
Well, let me check this new caller. Who's this caller line I just opened?
I think you reopened my call, but I'll say that.
No, it's this line right here. Hold on. Who line is that?
Hello.
Oh, that's Miss Lady. So let me let Jay say. Let me let Jay go, and then Miss Lady, you can go right after Jay. Go ahead, Jay.
So I was gonna say that this dude don't qualify. So if you want to say that, the Innocence Project, Polite don't qualify in that arena. He's not. He's proven time and time again that he's just like a Donald Trump. You could just say he's a white man and a black man is a body. I just say this too. It didn't sound good, Mr. Solutions, when you said that you got rear-ended by a woman, because another thing was like the way you said it, like all right, you got rear-ended, but by a woman, like it was worse than a man. Being rear-ended doesn't sound good, positive in any way by a male or a woman. But again, I heard that, and when you said woman, it was like you felt more upset that you got rear-ended by a woman than a man. I don't know. It's weird, but I'll leave it there.
Miss Lady, welcome to the show.
It was just a description, Jay. That's all.
Go ahead, Miss Lady.
Oh, hello. Yes, I'm sorry. I just heard you had a fusion, some type of fusion surgery. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah,
Tyrone.
yeah.
Oh,
I'm recovering though. I'm making it. You know.
Yeah. Oh boy, that's major surgery, and yeah. I guess you're going to physical therapy and all that kind of stuff, huh?
Yep.
Okay. Well, okay, so I haven't heard from you or Mr. Solutions in ages, and I don't know why Mr. Solutions has to come up, and the first thing he talks about and advocates is just a pure lies, okay? Mr. Solutions, you know better than that. You're
okay,
right,
Ms.
Tyrone. There is nothing high value about that grifter, that YouTube grifter, okay? You could put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig, okay? And the way he carried on and held himself out to be somebody he was not in various ways, okay, that's obvious to anybody that can see and that can hear and listen and read energy. He was the last person to try and give advice to women on terms of how they should conduct themselves, how they should dress. Didn't he say if you were over a size 7, you were too big, or a size 5? If you were over certain 28, you hit the walls. I mean, this is somebody going on 60 years old that had not appears to be had wanted anything, period, had never done anything to really speak about. I don't think he had a career. I think he had failed attempts. And all I know he was good at was spritzing cologne on himself and putting on a suit and putting on a suit and tie. Well, the grifter preachers do that every Sunday, don't they? Don't they wear suit and ties and they talk to mainly women sitting down in the pews, looking up to them in the pulpit? Because we know black women have been conditioned to look up to a black man who appears to have some type of authority or holds himself out, no matter how fraudulent they are, to be an authority figure in a suit and a tie. So
Tyrone, may I respond to some of what both you and Miss Lady have said?
Sure.
What I would say, I'm going to say both of you guys are a bit craven, okay, in that, in that.
Okay,
and I'm going to say atavistic also. But look here, he used to have what was called a heat show. And you guys could have called in and expressed your observations, which they are completely wrong, because what you are refusing to acknowledge is all those women that would line up for his commentary. Okay, you guys are completely discounting that, and you're just going to your own craven.
I'm agreeing with that. Yes, he did have women calling in, but they have been conditioned to listen.
Okay, so what? So have you. You've been conditioned.
That holds himself out to have the answers, to have.
But you've been conditioned also to behave as you are, which is inappropriate.
Well,
now,
no,
Mr. Solution,
I'm
listen.
very appropriate.
Mr. Solution,
I'm
I want
very
you to
appropriate.
I want you to listen to this, Mr. Solution. If Kevin Samuels hit the walk, right, of what he preached, do you remember how he passed away?
I do. I sure do. Yes.
Was that a transsexual prostitute that was
lady? Come on,
way
you should
over a
stop.
size 5? Who was not? And didn't he have a man in his bed? He had his bed, and he was.
No, all of those were rumors. But look here, I'm not here to vouch for everything, for all of his life.
I'm just saying, no, he has nobody's high value. Where, when, what?
But the thing of it is, if we were to examine your life,
high value in the manosphere's mind, but anybody that has a brain, and that's not the manosphere.
Listen a minute.
That's all a lie. That's all.
If we were to highly scrutinize your life, my life,
or it was Fugazi. It was Fugazi.
Hold on a minute. Allow me to express a declarative sentence. If we were to analyze your life, my life, or anybody's life, we could find a lot of negative stuff. Okay? I admit all the things that you said about Kevin Samuels did not express exemplary lifestyle success until YouTube. I mean, he took to YouTube, like they say, a fish to water or a bird to the air. That was really his element. And although it was short-lived, at least let's give him credit for that. Everybody can't be.
No, I'm not giving him credit for that because he does, like a lot of other people, they pimp and they grift and they want to destroy the image of certain people in order to enrich themselves. It has
who was he destroying the image of? Who?
With helping
wait a minute, hold on.
Men.
You just made who was he destroying the image of?
He was no different than a pimp hustling women. Who was he
destroying the image of? I'm just asking a question.
He's a hustler. And not in a good sense.
All of us should have some hustle in us.
Not in a good sense.
Okay, he
not
didn't
in a good way.
Mr. Solution, did you send him some money, Mr. Solutions?
Line is this. Hold on a minute, Jay. Hold on 1 second. Okay, bottom line. Thank you. Bottom line is this: all of you craven individuals never called in when he allowed for dissenters. I think he called them detractors.
I understand that he would interrupt, and if you objected to anything, he'd interrupt and hang up on you, and then talk about it. So who would want to do that?
Like ABC?
Yeah. Hey, Mr.
Yeah, like he was like ABC. You know,
Jay, I mean, let me just say to you, Miss Lady. Miss Lady, I battle with...
You know, he'll never make it to the band because all he plays is one note, okay?
Sweetie, listen to me. I just had a battle with
Kevin Samuels was Mr. One Note. And
I got it. You don't like Kevin...
off keys. It was all
I got it.
keys.
Listen a minute. I'm going to take a breath. I just had a battle with the cable company, and I won big. I love that.
You disconnected your cable? What you did? You disconnected your subscription?
Okay, so you have to share that good advice because he gave me some good advice before. Yeah. And you know
I'll tell you what I did. I'll tell you what I did, and we should really talk about that because cable companies are thugs. I think they have created an oligopoly.
They're getting over.
Wait a minute. They've created not just a monopoly, but an oligopoly. And I'm doing a show right now, and I focus primarily on credit cards. So the credit card companies, the cable companies, the credit card companies are worse than the cable companies. Yeah, I would say the credit card companies are worse than the cable companies. But anyway, I thought about you when I had this. It took about 45 minutes to an hour. It was beautiful. It was absolutely beautiful. And let me tell you, it was a win-win situation, and I think I won more. And this is where I teach people to be a great negotiator. That's very, very important. But go ahead.
Yeah.
I think Jay. Go ahead.
Yeah.
So,
Mr. Solutions, I got a question for you,
do you
though,
have a
man.
show on social media?
No. I have a show with people. Allow me time. They've given me
the show.
It's an altruistic show. I'm doing it out of philanthropy, and I'm just sharing information on financial matters, how to get good deals, how to get discounts. I'm a discount fanatic. I love my discounts.
You need to share all that information after, because you don't put it out there. You didn't tell us how you won the cable company.
How I what?
Mr. Solution. If nothing else, Kevin Samuels was a triumph of style over substance, because he didn't become substantive until his style changed. Because if you go look at his earlier videos, he says quite a bit, of information, but he wasn't getting the views, he wasn't getting the exposure until he changed his style. So he is basically,
agree. Yes, that's true.
Clickbait.
Yeah, now hang on. Let me bring it home for you.
I think people like those men like him because they it was like modern day slash and cut. It was like they got their jollies off of him going off.
This lady, let Joe finish. I want to hear what he was saying, please.
Yeah. But so we're living in a time when style is basically winning over substance. But it's interesting that you reference the Bible, which basically says, no, ignore the style, listen to the substance. So I don't quite understand, where you moving with this, because
it doesn't say what you just said categorically, because the Bible does talk about it does talk about beauty in its proper place, and I agree with you. I call it you're talking about symbolism over substance, and I agree with you. That can be the case. But I used to listen to Kevin Samuels. I'm as critical as any one of you are. However, I'm fair, and I say, Miss Lady, I'll just say this to you. I say an 8. Now, I don't go down to a 2 or but I say rough.
What do you mean by that?
I mean 8. You're talking about dress size, right?
Oh, well, what?
Yeah, that's what I say, an 8.
Well, no, it depends. There are some women that are 5.
Now, 8 is on the high end, by the way. 8 is on the high.
That are 5, 8, 9, 10, 6 feet. That will not be a size 8. Their bones.
What will they be? Okay, what will they be?
So it depends. It
okay, well, give me a number. We're talking numbers here. Give me a number.
No, I can't. It depends on the frame and the height of the woman. It all depends, because if a woman is 6 feet and she has large bones, if she's a size 8, she's looking like olive oil. I don't think that's
probably true, but. Okay, but let me just tell you this: like we were talking about symbolism over substance. That is the situation that you just explained is the exception that proves the rule. Most women are not 6. Actually, most men in America, I think the average height man is like it's 5'10". It's not 6 feet.
Getting larger than they used to be. I mean, it used to be. Probably 50 years ago that the average size for a woman was probably a size 5. That's not the case anymore. So people are getting bigger. The hormones are in the food. They're eating more processed food.
What I'm telling you is women speak to men in 2 indisputable ways, and that is, number 1, attitude and weight. That's what women demonstrate what they care about men with, their attitude and their weight.
Well, I don't have any idea what you mean.
Yeah, because that's stupid. Okay. I mean, the stuff that you're talking about right now, Mr. Solution, about weight and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't matter. If somebody is attracted to somebody, they're attracted to somebody. All of that stuff that you don't matter, it doesn't matter. And that's why I said, wait a minute, that's why I say that whenever you come on here defending.
That is a eunuch of a man that would say such a thing.
Okay, so I mean, I know it hurts. I know it hurts to hear these facts, but that's why I say that you're like a cult follower of Kevin Samuels, because you come on here pushing.
And hold on, Tyrone. I know you'll misconstrue everything. What you just said is a gilded man.
You know, there are women that are way bigger than a size 8. 5, 6, 7 that are getting married every day.
But my point is
for a high value man.
My point is you're speaking in general terms, right? And you're talking about women have to have these standards, and that's just not the way society works. Everybody is different. Everybody is individuals, and it ain't up to you to pick and choose what size or whatever somebody should be. That ain't your job.
Let me tell you this. First of all, that's a damn lie. If you can take the pressure and tell me when you can't, okay, that's a damn lie that you just expressed, because women have a sexual market value. They're in the market, and they have to be selected by men. And particularly when you talk about a high-value man, that deals with a man's income.
Needs to be defined. What is a
so let me say this. Let me say this to Mrs. Solution.
Definitions are different.
All right, so Mrs. Solution.
It wasn't Kevin Samuels.
Mrs. Solution.
In your mind, it might be.
Let me ask you this,
not in my mind.
Let me ask you this, Mrs. Solution.
You know, that's never been defined what a high value man is.
Right. So, Mrs. Solution, let me ask you this right here. Mrs. Solution, will you ever be with an overweight woman?
Tyrone, say what?
Will you be with an overweight woman?
Okay, define that. What is
the weight sizes that you're talking about are too big. Will you ever be with one of those people?
Or more.
Well, okay, let me put it this way. Say, for example, and that's a good question, and allow me to respond to it. Okay, say, for example, I want no more than an 8.
Okay.
No more than an, okay.
Okay, so listen. So if they're bigger than an 8, you're not going to be with them. What I'm trying to tell you right now, listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. You're not going to be with them.
It's your question. I'm responding to it.
Okay,
unless you want to withdraw it and ask another one.
Go ahead.
I'm answering the first question you asked.
Go ahead.
All right. So if my limit is a woman that's a size 8. And say I meet a woman that's larger than an 8, a little bit larger than an 8. Mm-hmm. And we have a conversation, and I find out some of the things that we just agreed upon, whatever they are, may be true, that hormones in the food, whatever. Maybe she had a brief illness, whatever. Well, if her attitude is such that I'm willing to work this weight off and get healthier, then of course we can chat. We can go from there.
So what you just said
is a whale.
What you just said.
Hold on a minute, Tyrone. Damn.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Now say for example she's a whale. No dice.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to say. But the first part of your response makes you a hypocrite, because you said that there's a limit and that was an 8. But you're saying that if there's a little over 8, you're going to talk to him anyway. But the whale part, the one. Wait, hold on, wait a minute. Let me finish. The whale part that you're not going.
In English, I didn't understand what you just said.
Because you saying that your limit is an 8, but you said if you meet somebody that's a little bigger than an 8, you will still talk to them. That makes you a hypocrite. Now, what I'm trying to say is that with the person that you refer to as a whale.
Again, maybe you're still under anesthesia.
Okay, let me finish my thought. I let you finish, so let me finish. The person that you're referring to.
I said if her.
The person that you're referring to as a whale. You are not going to talk to them. But what I'm trying to tell you is, okay, can you please shut the fuck up? What I'm trying to tell you is that somebody out there will talk to them, which excludes you from the equation. So it doesn't even matter. Shut the fuck up, nigga. See, this is what I'm saying. I know it hurts.
Daddy, you low down.
I know it hurts to hear these facts coming from this country boy, but you're going to have to shut up. But the person that you're referring to as a whale excludes you from that whole situation. Shut the fuck up.
Because
listen to what I'm trying to tell you. The person you're referring to as a whale can still be in a relationship that don't involve you or Kevin's goddamn Samuels. So it don't even matter.
Now let me respond to that. First of all, you're full of shit. That's the reason your eyes are brown. These are the same women that are calling in for advice because it's not working. And weak-ass men like you who encourage women to be unhealthy is the reason many of them don't choose to do better. You're a lying sack of shit.
So you want this utopian view of women, this Stepford wife way that women is supposed to look a certain height. This stupid, Mr. Solution. That is not the way fucking societies work.
No, I think Mr. Solutions is in the 70s and 80s era because back then.
New York, hold on a minute. Hold on, soldier. There you go again, lying. You're exaggerating.
Think about it. Listen, Mr. Solutions, you're thinking in the 70s and 80s mindset because that was like the average.
I'm responding to Tyrone. See, there you go again, Tyrone, exaggerating because you can't make a point in the real world. You're full of shit, Tyrone.
Because you cut me off, nigga. What the fuck? I can't say two words before you cut me off.
If you walk in the streets of America nowadays, especially outside, I just came from Europe, so it's happening over there.
I know.
Heavier set women or women that are not the average considered, all right? Not the average considered a model, look, stick figure, or, weight perfect, if we want to call it. Right now, women and men that are overweight, right? Well, however you want to, how big, that's all to each his own. But it's more common that you see people together, couples, and it could be a skinny person with a heavier set person. And you see that more than what it would be back then. Thicker women are more attractive now or more highly sought than it was back in the 70s and 80s publicly. You can see that men embrace women that are more than the average size right now, more than the 70s and 80s, and probably like the 90s it started changing. But, Mr. Solution, take a look outside. You live in Hollywood, California, or wherever you at, somewhere in the hills. Take a look into the city and see what's going on. Thicker women.
Okay, right. Let me just say this. Do you think Lizzo, the celebrity Lizzo, do you think there's a problem with her weight?
Well, it might be a problem for other people. It might not be.
Okay, I'm asking you, knowing proportional. I'm assuming that you know.
No. Listen, if
hold on, Jay. Let me respond to Lizzo. Lizzo has accomplished.
Allow me to ask the question.
Shut up.
Okay,
shut up. I want to respond to this. Shut up, Mr. Solution. Listen, shut up. Shut up. Listen, Lizzo has a... Shut up.
Tyrone.
Listen,
hold on a minute, Tyrone.
I want to finish this.
Go on bed rest for a moment.
Okay, I'm not. I want to respond to this. Can you shut up, please? Lizzo has accomplished every requirement that you expect out of a woman, especially with her career, except for her weight. Now, what I'm trying to tell you is if her weight is going to hold you up because she's a gazillionaire and she's talented and she's got a career and she's got finances and all this kind of bullshit. She's got everything except for what you require as fucking weight. So it shouldn't even matter about her fucking weight. It's stupid to sit up here.
Okay, when you finish, I want to respond to that.
Hold on, Mr. Solution. But even that you asked, because you asked before he said that. Now, this is the thing, right?
Okay, he didn't let me finish asking.
But hold on, with the Lizzo situation, you might find that she's heavier set, but guess what? That she's moving faster, moving a lot more than some thin people. So I got to give her credit as her being a thick woman or a heavier set woman than the average. And she's moving around probably more than some skinny women or skinnier men. So we got to see how, if it becomes a problem, she's probably moving faster than a lot of us right now on Earth, all right? And
now you're talking about success right now, right? Let's just be clear on what we're talking about.
All right, well, let's exclude her success. There's a man out there. Hold on, there's more than one man out there, but let's just say there's one man out there that will find her attractive without her having money or nothing, looking at her the way she looks, and find her attractive. There's no doubt about it.
Well, okay, first of all, Jay, respectfully, that's a dumbass statement, okay? Because it's not the man that she wants. She can't find the man that she wants. And by the way...
You don't know that.
Because she's...
How you know?
Okay.
Are you the man?
From what I've heard, we all are talking about from what we've heard about her. But this is the thing: men and women have different paradigms.
I don't think men
that are high
find the women
value.
that they want either. I think they have unrealistic.
Men that are high value.
I think they have unrealistic fantasies, and so I think they tend to they want to value themselves more than really they should sometimes, and they don't see that they may not be as high value as they think they are. And so,
okay, fine. Look here. What you guys raised an interesting point. Men aren't attracted to women's success. That's not what men look at when they're choosing a woman.
Excuse me, I choose to disagree. I think A$AP Rocky was very attracted to Rihanna's success. I think the boy that just got this girl pregnant, this little mermaid girl, to baby trap her, I think he was
Jay-Z and Beyonce.
That money.
Jay-Z and Beyonce, they was attracted to each other's success.
Right.
So that's bullshit.
Did he marry her, by the way?
That's a lie when they say they are not. That is a
marry
lie.
her, by the way?
You know it, Mr. Solutions.
Can you hear me? Did he marry her, by the way?
I think it's a joint decision. If they're going to get married, I think some women don't want to get married.
All right, guys. There's another caller on the line. There's another caller on the line.
Again, what you do is you go to the exception to prove the rule. These are women who are high earners.
You made a general statement, and we are just giving examples.
Okay, so let me.
A general subject. No, you gave a specific example.
Okay, so let me address this new caller.
We're giving examples of how what you were saying is untrue.
Okay, so let me address this new caller.
There's a lot of men that want to get married to specific women. The women turn them down every day, all day.
Let me address this new caller. Who's this caller on the line?
Mace.
Hey, what's up, Mace? How you doing? Let Miss Lady finish. Let Miss Lady finish, and then you can go after her.
Oh, I'm finished. Hi, Mace.
Go ahead, Mace. How you doing?
Well, I'm glad you're better. And the guys was holding it down. The guys was holding it down. They didn't have to be hosting the show, but they did a good job just talking and having conversation on through the weekday.
I heard that ABC wouldn't let nobody talk.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about ABC.
No, he would talk for hours. I would call in 2 hours later. He's still talking. Oh my God! Something's
wrong. He's a talking
wrong.
prostitute.
But you had better shows with Mama's Boy, East Coast, and Howard, and all of them just having a conversation through the weekday without a host. They did better than ABC do any day. Because all you do is hear the same thing over and over and over again. Keep you up to 3 o'clock in the morning talking about nothing. So I'm glad they were there, having a conversation. Somebody's listening when you couldn't sleep, but you just happened to get up and they was having conversations about different things and having fun. Those guys did a good job.
Yeah, that's true.
Antoinette and what's the other
and even Ottawa.
Yeah, Ottawa. Yes, we just had conversations. Sometimes you don't need a host. If they had to be like ABC, he's afraid to let other people come in and talk because he want to do all the talking.
Yeah, he just stayed on that D-flat note the whole time, okay?
A D-flat.
It's about the family.
And are we going to be on this high-dollar woman and man all night? Or are you having a discussion about something else?
Well, I don't know. Mr. Solution wanted to talk about Kevin Samuels and, try to big him up and all of that, so I guess he's...
Oh, but then in the high-dollar dresses, they start at a 0 and go all the way up to an 8. So Lizzo probably wear an 8 in a high-dollar dress. So...
Okay. Oh, Lord.
So you can go to Neiman Marcus, you can go to
amazing. As if only small women get married. And you see, I see married women all kind of sizes with wedding rings and their husbands with them and opening up the car door and, and going out. Yeah.
Friends of mine
You
that
feel
are
like-
into have bigger women, and it's not they have money or don't have money. They're
African men love
attracted to thicker women, and that you don't have to pay them any money for them to be into thicker women. What's not the average size considered woman. All right, so Mr. Solutions, stop it. And if you didn't have no money, you would have to be with a thicker woman anyway.
But I'm saying, Africans love
Feed your ass. Feed your ass some food.
African men love thick
Jay,
women.
I'm going to tell
They
you
do.
this.
They don't want to see anybody looking like they suffering from malnutrition.
If you look at a lot of men,
other groups of men are the same way. Those Tongan men, those same way,
Don't bring
same
them
thing.
no skinny
And
woman.
I say to each his own. Whatever you like, that's what you should be with.
yeah, Tyrone brought up this issue of Kevin Samuels.
I did not.
and
I was just calling
saying
him
that
a charlatan, and you wanted to get all defensive about him and shit. So I don't.
No. I just wanted to be accurate. But there's
He's
another
a high
issue
value
too.
hypocrite, is what he was. He was a high value grifter and a hypocrite.
Let me introduce another idea along the same line, and that is the men that are going overseas of all ethnicities. They're going internationally to find women that are fit, friendly, and feminine, and also hopefully faithful.
Are they going there to get married, to find a wife, to settle down with and take care of?
No, they're going over there.
Yes.
They got
some, yes. They're going over there to find more value for their money.
Really?
And because
I'm just if they want fit, friendly, and whatever the
they're looking for slave women. They're looking for slave women.
Exactly. They're looking for poor, impoverished women that they can buy.
Okay, but that's hold on. Let me respond to that. That's a good point you just made. Let me respond to that. If you look at the debt of the average American woman, she's impoverished also.
Really?
Well, if you look at the paycheck of the average black man, he's pretty impoverished himself. So basically, he's just going over there. He's getting on Spirit or Frontier Airlines, with the cheapest air ticket, because that's all he can afford. And hopefully he doesn't miss his flight, because he'll be on social media crying and begging people to send him some money to Cash App so he can get back
Miss
to
Lady, Miss Lady, let me just say this. You are incorrigible. See, you just want to have this.
That guy did around, 6 months ago.
This one is
well, you want to have this antagonistic attitude, and okay, fine.
I'll tell you about this other pimp. He's pimping men to go to his castle or wherever he is overseas, where they got to pay all this money, they got to get beat, and they got to do all this stuff just to get to a woman. I forgot his name.
Well, no, actually, if you look in South America, Asia, and also, see, the world has opened up to men. I was listening to the... what's that department that hands out passports? They were really backlogged in excess of 6 months because so many men. I'm sorry, what?
You know what? I don't know if you have felonies or if you owe child support. Do they let you out of the country?
No. See,
his name is Andrew Tate. That guy.
Respond to what you were saying, there, Miss Lady. You're right.
He was pimping.
I mean, that's not
A lady was attempting to say what you said, that the men were on child support and all of that, which is a lie, because if you're on child support, they take your ability to get a passport. So what she said was patently untrue. But see, this is the thing. A lot of American women want.
They're not even registered as a father legal on the baby's birth certificate. So
one moment.
A
lot of American women want Plan B.
They are running because a lot of
American women want.
They cannot afford to take care of a woman here, but they can take their minimum job paychecks and go run over there to one of the poorest countries where your dollar goes a lot further. Let's just be honest about it.
So, Mr. Solutions, will you go overseas?
Go over there and get married.
Hold on a minute,
be,
because you're mischaracterizing the situation.
To those women, they're not. They're just going over there to have cheap thrills. Cheap thrills.
Wait a minute, man. Hold on a minute. What the men are getting away from this type of mouthy, aggressive woman. They don't want that in women.
They're going over there to get, and those women aren't stupid. They know exactly what
getting more value. And
but they need
the average American woman, if you look at how many women are being put out of their apartments in America since COVID and these restrictions on kicking people out of their...
That's a different subject. Well, maybe it's
No. It's the same subject.
Maybe if the fathers of their children were paying child support and had jobs, maybe they wouldn't be kicked out of their apartments. So that's a whole other subject.
Say married before you...
You keep moving the goalposts. You keep moving the subject matter. Why do you do that?
You should marry before you carry. That's not the man's fault.
Well, 70% of black marriages end in divorce anyway. You have a high rate of failure anyway. Doesn't matter if you're married or not.
This is all men, and let me tell you, what's more important, you're very biased toward race. What's more important is class.
For a long time, and black men, they have to be so vocal about it and be on
class equalizes
like
men.
they doing something to be so
hold on. I got a question for Mrs. Solutions. Hold on for a second. Mrs. Solutions, so if you agree with the passport stuff, why haven't you gotten a passport and gone overseas and found you a woman?
Is that a legitimate question or is it a bullshit question?
Yeah, you're disappointed over here.
Look, I love all legitimate questions, but is there a follow-up bullshit question?
No, I'm serious. Why haven't you, Tyrone? Listen.
You're full of chicanery.
Listen to what I'm saying. You're clearly. Wait a minute. You're clearly disappointed with the American women. So why don't you get you a passport?
A lot of men are. It's not just me. And since you are a liar and you don't have one, that's the reason you're not really dealing with this
issue. I'm asking you a question now. I'm asking you a question now. Why haven't you gotten you a passport? Why haven't you gotten you a passport and went over to one of these countries and found you a woman?
He's not trying to go get a woman over there. Okay, he's not trying to go find a wife over the Dominican.
Would you hold on a minute? I don't ask you. And see, that's the other thing, Tyrone. You weak bastards don't have any correction for your quote women. They're not your women, really. They're women who just walk over you like a doormat. Did you see this woman? I believe I saw a picture. She got hit with a brick in Houston. Did you see that?
No.
So we don't be looking for stuff like that.
I don't be looking for women.
Did you see that? Well, if you go on YouTube, you see women getting beaten up all the time trying to challenge men, and they're just...
Yeah,
see, these men are usually the products of single mothers.
So you agree with the man's conduct, that men should be beating up women. Is that what you're saying? You agree with that?
I don't agree with the conduct, but I understand it.
Oh, my goodness.
Really?
Well, you keep moving the goalposts. You don't want to
explain that to us how you understand it.
You just keep moving the subject matter. It's all just
the thing. Women. If you notice when we talk about fit, when we talk about fit, feminine, and friendly, femininity in a woman resolves conflict. Femininity resolves.
No. I'm telling you what people that have some common sense and know how to communicate resolve conflict.
Thank you.
Okay, let me answer Tyrone's bullshit question. Tyrone, are you there, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it is not that important to me. I can deal with women on a sort of with a long handle spoon, and so at this, it's not super important to me. Now, men who want to have children, or men who are really into dating, and which is okay. It's okay for men and women to date. Then they are the ones that are doing this more than anything else. But if I were looking for a wife, I would go to places. I have a specific number of places that I would go to get a wife. She's still a U.S. citizen, but outside of the U.S. culture, whereas if things broke down, I wouldn't be financially raped in the court system. And let me just see if I can enunciate several of those places. Puerto Rico, Guam, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and this is non-contiguous, but it's still, it's obviously it's Hawaii, and I think that's about 5. There are about
so
5
let me ask you
places.
this then. So the reason that you chose those places are the women that you in your mindset, are they different in those places?
No, because
Well, there's a better. Okay.
You can take advantage. That's why. Because
hold on a minute. Hold on a minute.
Territories. They wasn't original
hold on a minute.
territories. Go ahead.
Hold on a minate. Okay, what I'm saying is nothing is a guarantee here, Tyrone, but the opportunities are greater. Those women are acculturated differently. They are a bit more fit, feminine, and friendly than U.S. women.
Okay, so
women tend to be very
all right, so listen. Okay, shut up. Listen, I'm gonna put you on mute for 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna put you on mute for 1 second. Shut up. Listen, I'm gonna put you on mute for 1 second. Don't hang up. I got you on mute. But this is my opinion about this whole conversation. Listen, guys, societies change and people change in societies, right? So what some Solutions is telling me and these guys on the internet is that they don't have the mental capacity to evolve with our society and the way that the opposite sex is evolving also. It's a challenge to them. It's a bigger challenge to them to try to get to know somebody in the United States of America, even though they're evolving to another level and the women are evolving to another level. You supposed to be up for that challenge as a man to try to find a mate, right? So as time goes on and people change and society change, you guys are giving up. Y'all just throwing up your fucking hand saying, okay, well, it'll be easier for me to go out of country. Okay, so when you say it's easier, that's telling me that you too weak-minded to try to stay in your own country and try to figure out how your own society work to try to find a mate. You'd rather go find somebody that's, in your eyes, it's more submissive, more easier to deal with, that don't talk back or whatever your case may be, instead of being a man and trying to struggle through a relationship and build something that with people in your own goddamn country. And that's just my opinion. You don't have to agree with it, but I'm gonna open your line back up.
But Tyrone, you know what? Some of those men that feel like that, they got
what I would go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No problem. They got the ugly man syndrome.
Well, what I would use the term, Tyrone, is more cooperative. And this is the point. Women still want men. Let me give you some metrics. See, women define the high-value man. All right. Now, Kevin Samuels, better than anyone else, used to lay this out meticulously. Very simple. Even you could have gotten it if you had wanted to. But what he would ask a woman is, first of all, do you want to be married? And when she said yes, he said, okay, where do you want to live? That makes a difference. All right? And then he would say, how many children do you want? The U.S. Department of Agriculture has pegged it at roughly $250,000 per child. So 2 children, $500,000, of course, 3.75 That's how much it costs to raise a child in a middle-class household from 0 to 18. And then he would say, how large of a house do you want to have? And usually with 2 children, you're going to need about a 4-bedroom house. So when you define where you want to live, how many kids you want to have, what size house you want to have. And then you say, what kind of school do you want your kids to go to? You want them to go to private schools? Well, most parents want their kids to go to the best schools. All right, that's money. And then vacation. I'm just going to use these 4 or 5 criteria. He said, do you want to travel nationally or international? Well, people want to, they want to travel, maybe both, depending on the year. And then he would say, well, this is, by definition, the earning power of a high-value man, because women want that lifestyle. So women define
$1,000 a year is not going to take care of all that.
But let me respond to Mr. Solution right quick. And Mr. Solution, please don't cut me off. Listen, what you just...
Let me finish, Tyrone. Hold on a minute.
I thought you was done.
Okay, so a minimum, $120,000 a year. That's what that cost. The lifestyle that these women want demands a high-value man. Go ahead.
Okay, so let me say this right here. Hold on, Miss Lady. Let me say this right here. What you just described is not a normal way of coming into a relationship. What you just described was an application for house call, school, vacation. See, that is not normal. A normal relationship is you meet somebody, and if you guys click, then y'all discover, y'all talk, and y'all have a conversation about how y'all want to build a future together. You're not supposed to have this shit established about how much money and all this kind of bullshit beforehand, because you already put material shit before your goddamn relationship instead of feelings, right? So this shit that Kevin Samuel got y'all on is not even reality. It's not even reality to how people meet. That is not the way you was fucking taught to meet a woman, Mr. Solutions. So now that you found social media and this guy got this application for what kind of who do you want to marry and where do you want to live and what kind of house you want and all this kind of stuff and 120,000, that's not even reality. So you're following this goddamn playbook of stupidity and to build a goddamn relationship, and that's not. See, you believe that shit. It's dumb as fuck. Whenever you go out to meet somebody,
Tyrone,
shut up.
Okay,
you gonna have to shut up. Okay, I may be a Neanderthal, but listen, when you go out to meet somebody,
you know what the shit you're talking about.
Okay, whenever you trying to establish a relationship, it's all about dating, getting to know each other, and establishing a relationship and building together. Not this dumb shit application that you just put out that Kevin Samuel was put in your mind. That's stupid. That's dumb.
Tyrone, what it is you're ignorant to the reality of what goes on. I'm sorry. You need to take a course. Look, I would send you to community college. You need a course in linear logic, number one. You need a course in English also. Okay. And you're just ignorant to the reality of what goes on. I understand what you just said. And that is not the way that has hold on. You are the one that has failed to evolve.
Okay, maybe so call me old fashioned. Call me old fashioned, okay, or whatever. But listen, call me old fashioned, but the way that I was trained and the way that you was trained.
Well, you know what? Okay, maybe you're the exception to something, so that's fine.
Okay, but call me old fashioned, but the way I was trained and the way that you was trained. The way that you was trained.
Let me say this to you. Look, have you ever sat down with a financial advisor?
Is my damn mic working?
Yes, some people have. What about it?
No. I'm not talking to you, Tyrone, number 2. I'm talking to Tyrone, number 1. Tyrone, have you ever sat down with a financial advisor?
My mic working. I'm think I'm off.
I guess he left the room on an intelligent.
This service is provided in high definition by freeconferencecallhd.com. There are 9 participants in the conference. Q&A session has started. The recording has started.
Test. Is my mic working? Okay, there you go.
Since you're on the phone, Jay from New York.
Well, no, my mic went out. My mic went out, so I had to call back in.
I don't have no finance to sit down with a financial advisor. So there you go.
For you, Tyrone. Have you ever sat down with a financial advisor?
Years ago, Mr. Solution.
Okay, all right. And now, at one time, people didn't do that. And I think until the late 80s, there were no such thing as financial advisors for the general populace. So that is how about a marriage counselor? Have you ever gone to a marriage counselor?
No, I never went to a marriage counselor.
Okay, but you can see the value in going to one, correct?
We have for people who got issues, probably, yeah.
Value. You can see the value. You can see that there's men that have value.
No, listen. Hold on, Jay. Listen. The stuff. Listen, Mr. Solution. For people who need those services that you're talking about, there is value in it, right? But what I'm trying to tell you is, let me finish with what the hell I'm saying. What I'm telling you.
I haven't.
Shut the fuck up. Shut up. What you're telling me that Kevin Samuel has taught you is in order to establish a relationship with someone, you got to go down this checklist first about the house, the money, the cars, the children, and all that kind of you got to get all that shit established first before you get to know some goddamn body. So it's just
right, Tyrone. First of all, you're being a bitch. First of all, I got to tell you, you're being an open, hyper bitch. Number two, I didn't need Kevin Samuels for shit.
Well, you're repeating his talking
Samuels
points.
was saying before he said it. It was only recognition, you dumbass, you troglodyte.
Well, you must be getting hurt right now. You must be getting hurt right now.
Recognition. And you like to mischaracterize things so you can get your little...
with all of that.
Characterize things so you can get your little bitch point across.
Well, I mean,
going
back
to
to
you
the whole
is
thing
what...
with the way.
Well, it's dumb.
Listen, in mainstream America, even in mainstream America, in the 80s, 70s, they were only showing thin women. Hold on. There was thin women being promoted on a heavy scale. Now, and not weight-wise. I'm talking about just showing women and modeling.
Jay from New York, look here. Now, you may agree with Tyrone, or you may not agree with anybody.
You got to acknowledge that things have evolved. And again, a man
voting
is
with
not
their feet.
But a man is not necessarily attracted to a heavier set woman because she got money. She could be broke. If he likes her, what she looks like, there's men that like thicker women.
No, that's a bald-faced lie. High-value men do not prefer thicker women. That's bullshit.
No, we don't. We ain't.
What's a high-value man? What, 500,000 a year? What are we talking about?
Minimum of 120,000. That's $10,000 a month.
Like that, Eddie Murphy and all those kind of people.
A high value man, it has nothing to do with how much money he brings in. Pimps bring in, drug dealers bring in.
Miss Lady, you're talking out of your damn neck. But look, you guys may want to talk about something else. You're trying to gang up on me. You're not listening. You are anti-growth. Here Tyrone talks about
value. Maybe you're saying above average income.
He talks about someone that's willing to grow, and that person is the one that's staring back at him in the mirror. He is the one that's unwilling to grow. And because someone streamlines something and makes it logical does not make them out of order. It's the fool that's unorganized.
You're making no sense.
That's because you have no sense. The only one that I'm not making sense.
Okay, so let me do this right here. So guys, this is going to prove my point, right? I just typed in Google high value man, and I want y'all to look at the screen. And this is what Google said. Things you should know. The online culture. That is significant to what I'm saying. The online culture defines a high-value man as a respected, successful, likable, confident, and attractive man. Now, the point that I'm trying to make is this: an online culture that has came up with this term, high-value man. It don't exist in society. It don't exist whenever it comes to building relationships. This high-value man is some bullshit that you fucking manosphere, fucking goddamn incels has done came up with and trying to tell women that they have to achieve that bullshit. That's just bullshit.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a high-value man.
What percentage of people are online in America?
What?
What percentage of people are online in America?
I imagine it's pretty high. I don't know.
Well, then that's everybody, you fool.
Okay, but no, hold on. So here's my point. So shut up. Don't cut me off. My point is, instead of you being a regular person in society, building relationships and establishing relationships, you had to find out a way online, on the internet, how to establish relationship by defining somebody as a high value man and telling women that that's what they need to achieve for, strive for. And that's bullshit. It ain't even natural.
Now, I tried to say this to you a moment, but you're very disorganized. When you talk to women and you ask them what, when one talks to women, which you, hold on a minute, ma'am, hold on a minute. When one talks to women, which is something that I presume that you don't do, Tyrone, they will define a certain amount of money that a man must earn. And most women want a man who earns significantly more money than they do. And I gave you the metrics, the house, the
But
location,
this is online
the children.
bullshit. This is bullshit.
Lord, here we go.
I don't even follow this high value man bullshit.
If you want to stay in darkness, then that's fine. But see, you live a high value man lifestyle.
Okay,
You're just a liar. You just lie about it. That's all. You're dishonest. You are categorically dishonest.
I don't follow that high value bullshit that y'all learned from Kevin Samuel. That I don't even. That ain't any way.
Because you're dishonest.
That ain't no sense.
You're not transparent.
Well,
you're dishonest. You are fundamentally dishonest.
Okay. Let me ask you this right here. Was you talking about a high value man when you was in college?
But you ask me something and not ask me anything. I don't.
Well,
let
me ask you this. Was you talking about a high value man when you was in college?
I always strove.
You're lying. You're lying right now. You're lying.
Okay, look. Do you know what a synonym is? Let me just ask you straight out.
Yeah.
This is a fifth grader.
Yeah. Is it a word that means the same thing as something else? Okay. What was the synonym when you was in college then?
Hold on. I'm asking you a question first. Fast talking liar. Do you know what a synonym is?
Yes. What was the synonym for high value man when you was in college?
First, tell me what a synonym is.
It's a word that means the same thing as the other word. But tell me what was the synonym?
Okay, wait a minute. First of all, clearly define it before we move forward.
Okay, we all know what synonyms is. Will you please stop stalling and tell me what the synonym was when you was in fucking college?
You have to answer that question.
Tell you something. Oh, okay. Let me answer you. You bitch-made man. Successful.
Okay, so now you're equating successful. You're equating successful to high value man. Is that what you just said, sir?
Well, success is going to follow inflation, right?
Okay.
So success is a synonym for high value.
No, the fuck it ain't. What is wrong with you?
Don't go around looking for discounts. High value men have money. They don't look for discounts.
You're a nut.
Okay, first of all,
he hasn't even defined what success means.
You don't do that.
Because success means different things to different people.
Exactly.
Right, but it means certain things in certain cultures. For a high value man in American culture, it's roughly $10,000 a month or $120,000.
Well, I'm just gonna say this and be done with it. Fuck all these high value ass men. Fuck all this high value man concept. Ain't no such thing as a high value man. That's stupid.
And you live in San Francisco, you are low income. Okay.
I know this about you, and it has nothing to do with your back surgery. You are a short man. And you are short on understanding. You're both.
Man,
you are a short man that's short. You're short on comprehension.
Nobody gives a fuck about no high value. I don't give a fuck about no high value bullshit.
It's just like I said, you're dishonest.
You know, so is Jeff Bezos, but his money makes him pretty tall.
A high value man.
So what? What does height have to do with anything?
Well, so what are you saying? I thought you were disparaging money just.
You're not trying to say
I thought you were disparaging money just a moment ago. Now you're praising it?
No,
shit, you don't know where you are.
You are attacking Tyrone. I don't know how tall Tyrone is. We don't care how tall he is.
Let me say this to you, Tyrone. Wait, Tyrone, are you there? I want to speak to you directly.
Yeah, I'm here.
Masculinity.
Hold on, man. Hold on a minute. I want to speak to you, Tyrone. Are you there?
Yeah.
All right. You know that having studied Google, at least historically, you know that certain cultures have come into existence and have ceased to exist, right?
Yeah.
And usually the reason for that is because they weren't as competitive as other cultures, correct?
Okay.
All right. So certain cultures destine themselves for extinction.
Okay.
All right, think about that. Just think about that. Let that marinate a little bit.
You went straight out the window.
And see what you come up with.
Not a damn
Well, look
thing.
here, it's been great talking with you. I'm glad, speaking with you rather. I'm glad you came out of your surgery. I hope you use some of those helps to reduce inflammation and that you recover fully. I really hope that you do. And I would give up weightlifting, by the way, which you have, correct?
Yeah, I can't do nothing until I'm healed. So yeah.
If you've been taking medication, you don't need to take Turmeric.
Hold on a minute, ma'am. Hold on. Even after medication, you're giving up weightlifting, correct?
Yeah. I'm gonna put you like I'm gonna follow. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm gonna follow my doctor's instructions. Whatever he said I can do, I'll do it.
That's why I asked him first.
Right. Oh, okay. Well, that's good too. But you know, you are your best doctor. Your doctor just advises you, right?
Yeah. He's not going to start lifting weights and mess up his future surgery. Yeah, Tyrone, talk to your doctor. And, yeah.
Well, This lady, I hope you have plenty of money from some source because your ass will be forever single. No man will put up with your bullshit.
You single. You are single.
No man would ever.
You are single. Offering bottled water and napkins to your dates.
Choke your ass to death and use some sort of dissolving agent to flush you down the toilet.
Mr. Solution, you single offering bottled water and napkins to your date.
For marriage more than women, okay?
Miss Lady, he's single because he offered bottled water and napkins to his date. He's single.
Tyrone. And by the way, you have a criticism of water and it's necessary for life. Explain that, by the way, sir.
No, I have a criticism of you offering bottled water and napkins to your date. That's what I have a criticism of.
I wonder if he's taking a small step forward. Will you?
Hold on, ma'am. If I'm dealing with a transparent woman, what's wrong with? Why do I owe her more, Ron?
Will you at least
You're a fucking man. You're supposed to be a man.
Or a cappuccino.
Don't no man run around here talking about some bottled water and a fucking napkin. That's crazy.
I owe a strange woman, a fellow woman, more than a bottle of water and a pleasant conversation. Why do I owe her more than that?
Well, I can tell you that bottled water. I'm gonna tell you like this right here. That bottled water and napkin disqualifies you from being any type of high value, any goddamn thing.
All those discounts you be trying to get.
Being a liar and answer the question, why do I owe her more than that?
Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
You got one with the credit card. One with the credit card.
Because the truth is not important to you. Why does a man owe a woman more than that?
I didn't say you owe anybody anything. I'm just telling you how silly you sound.
Shut up.
Huh?
I want to hear from you, the professed liar. Why does a man owe a woman more than that?
I never said that a man owes a woman anything. I'm just talking about how cheap your ass is and you trying to promote high-valued men.
Owe her more than that, then you should close out your comments. You should have nothing more to say.
So let me ask you this, like serious business.
And you don't have an argument.
Would a high-value man do? Would a high-value man offer a woman a bottle of water?
Let me put it this way, Tyrone. Let me draw you a quick picture.
Okay.
A woman when a man finally finds a woman, she would appreciate him more that he has saved his money, maybe invested his money wisely, till he meets her, then he can spend his money on her rather than useless women that he can't even remember the names of. Do you think most women would appreciate that more?
But would you take her to Burger King?
No. Answer my question, and then I'll answer your dumbass question.
Okay, I'll answer your question. Hey, it depends on the individuals and the situation, Miss Solutions. But the bottled water and the napkin thing.
Look here, I hope your surgery is more successful than your ability to truthfully answer a question. But look here, again, God bless you. I'll listen for a couple of minutes. And anyway, you have a great night.
All right, I appreciate that.
Don't wait another 6 months to come back on the show, okay?
Yeah. Enjoy yourself.
All right. Well, I don't know. We kind of got thrown off here with Mr. Solution.
No, that was a distraction. He didn't want to talk about that crazy Indian man walking around here running for president. He didn't want to talk about him. He didn't want to talk about politics because he's still waiting for the Great White Hope to come along and think he's going to get back into the White House.
Oh, I should have asked him about Donald Trump's crimes. He probably would have defended Donald Trump, huh?
Yes, I was trying to get you to ask him since he was trying to talk around me and not to me.
Hey,
and he just gets so mad with you when you.
What's up, Miss Lisa?
Really.
No, I'm just going to say I was sitting back listening because I don't engage in a high value man and high value. The problem with that, I've always found with that, when people start that high value and they set a certain income, that this is a high value man, you're not speaking to over half the people in the United States. It's not earning $125,000 a year. And let's break it back down to our community. You're really just excluding so many, we're talking high value men, excluding so many black men with that type of language and that type of talk.
Yep.
And I don't understand how men listen to that because it's disparaging. When you're trying to get out, you're trying to strive, and you're trying to do something with your life. I don't even involve myself in that conversation. But I sit back and listen, and he's serious about it. So, I just hope people will drop that high value stuff.
I think it's stupid. I think it's stupid. I think it's something made up. And these guys, because Kevin Samuels was articulate and all that kind of bullshit, they ate that shit up like fucking sliced bread. Like, that's a real thing. Who's this unknown caller?
Nigga, I ain't unknown. You can ask me all the questions you want about Trump crimes. I'm standing here ready to field every single one of them.
Oh, Lord.
Because I read every indictment. So ask me.
Well, I mean,
sorry. I don't want to hear no goddamn narratives neither, nigga.
Sorry. It's over, sir.
Donald Trump is a criminal. Donald Trump is the greatest traitor
we didn't even mention his name.
I don't want to hear none of your bullshit.
We didn't even mention that man's name. You feel so guilty. He's drunk right now. He's mad because they sentenced the cowboy. And Navarro. Go talk to Navarro. Talk to Navarro today. How about that? Save his ass.
These people going to jail.
Peter Navarro. Go help Peter Navarro. He needs some money. Giuliani needs some money. Go send him some money. Send Giuliani some money.
Sarge, it's over with. I mean,
you don't know shit. I think you might know one or two things. So if you got a question you want to ask about his crimes, ask me. I'm here. You couldn't ask Mr. Solution, but you can ask me. I'm right here, right in your face.
I just want to see if you still want to defend him.
I need a translator. Give me a translator, and I'll try to answer your questions.
Tyrone, could you ask him the question?
No, you're right in our ear yelling.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I get interrupted every time I start talking.
Tyrone, can I give you the question to ask him?
I don't get it. You give me some slack like you did Mr. Solutions. I won't be so loud.
This is not bad. The man made all his money from them T-shirts that he made from his photo. Why didn't he get that black man out?
I hope he makes more. Next question.
The one that's still left in jail. Why didn't he get him out? Why ain't y'all going to do it?
Next question. I answered the question. I'm not answering it again.
What did you answer? I ain't hear the answer. You're too busy screaming.
Again, I hope he makes more money than he's already made from his T-shirt.
No, she was asking you why did they let that man stay in jail, that black man stay in jail in Georgia like that?
Is that a question? No, because the judge who was on the case was not there to set bail, and the judge that was hearing it would not make the attempt to do it. He said it had to be with the judge of original jurisdiction. It had nothing to do with Trump or anybody else not wanting to give him bail. They couldn't make bail because the judge wouldn't allow it. Next question.
Why is he still there? You lying. That ain't why.
This is what I mean about you. I mean, it doesn't matter what the answer is. You just go on with the narrative.
You were trying to fight law enforcement. The reason why, one part of the reason why he's still in there.
I answered Tyrone's question.
Why was he fighting, Sarge?
Why was?
There's somebody. Hold on. There's another caller. Let me see.
Will you please be specific? Can you ever be specific? Somebody knows what the hell you're asking a question about.
You're mad. What? You're mad. Just mad. Nobody got time for that.
All right. So let me see who this caller is. Hold on for a second.
Somebody translate for me, please.
Who is this caller here?
That's me, Tyrone, Mama's boy. What's good, family?
What's happening, Mama's boy?
Hey, Tyrone.
Go ahead, Elisa.
I'm getting everybody. Sarge, it's good to hear your voice because we've been off here for a while. Miss Lady, and who else is Mama's Boy? How you doing? Jacob, New York.
Peace, my sister.
I'm getting ready.
Well, thank you,
I'm
sis.
getting ready to go, but I'm gonna continue listening. Sarge, just calm yourself before y'all you do something to yourself. And I'll talk to you guys next week.
He ain't gonna do nothing to himself.
Sarge always on 100. You can't calm him down.
He don't know nothing else.
What you have any more questions?
Well, I'm just saying, Sarge. I mean,
ask me very specific questions, please. No,
listen.
I mean, the guy's got 91 charges pending against him. You ought to be able to ask specific questions about specific counts in the various indictments.
We don't want to ask about no specific counts because we don't want to know.
Listen.
You're not even capable of reading anyway. You're illiterate.
Listen to what I'm saying, though. I don't have any questions. I think the justice system is working out fine. Listen to what I'm saying.
The only question we got to say.
The dude committed.
You were wrong again.
The guy clearly committed crimes because he's going to court for it, right? But my question would be like, why are y'all still standing behind this guy when you see he's a goddamn criminal? That
I'm
would be
gonna
my
say it again. I know you don't believe this because I mean, you don't want to read or don't seem to be able to read. But I have read the indictments of which they have to prove him guilty of. I have read them. I have read the law and I've read precedents in American history. I've read the National Presidential Record Act. That's why I don't think the charges against him are legitimate.
So none of those charges are legitimate, is what you're saying.
I'm going to say it again. I don't think one of them is legitimate, especially the case in New York.
Nothing you ever came up with was
especially the case in New York.
Here we go, New York.
So when you telling me that Donald Trump is on the phone saying, "Can you find me 11,000 votes or whatever?" That's not a crime. That's what you're telling me.
Yes. In fact, I'm going to tell you, when you read the entire transcript and you listen to the record of what he sees as electoral abuses prior to that statement, you cannot say that was a crime.
Okay, so you know the case in Georgia ain't got shit to do with the Presidential Records Act. You know that, right?
Okay. I just specifically told you about the transcript of which you just referred to. I said when you read the transcript in its entirety, to include what presaged that remark of which you are complaining, you can see he cannot be guilty of a crime if he believed there were anomalies and unconstitutional, illegal irregularities in the Georgia election.
Okay, so wait a minute, hold on.
By discarding votes that were improperly cast and finding votes that were properly cast that were not counted.
Okay, so you shut up for a second. Guys, guys, listen.
The level is utterly not there.
Okay, so guys, listen, hold on for a second. Wait a minute. I want everybody that's listening to understand what Sarge just said is in no shape, form, or fashion the way American elections work. Each state is responsible for counting their votes and sending it up to goddamn Washington, D.C. It is not the president of the United States' duty or responsibility to choose a state and tell them to find miraculously some type of fucking 11,000 votes. That is cheating. That is a violation of a goddamn election laws, and that's why he's going to goddamn court down in Georgia. So that dumb shit that Sarge just said, he don't even believe in this goddamn political system because nothing he just said is how the election system work in this country. So Sarge, you're an idiot. I mean, you're stupid.
I say you can't read, and you didn't read the indictment. He's not being charged with violating any Georgia election law. He's being charged with participating in a corrupt conspiracy under the Georgia RICO Act to defraud the state of Georgia. It has nothing to do with the election laws.
That's bullshit.
Tyrone, can I say something?
Go ahead, man.
Because I mean about you, I wish you read the fucking indictment.
Let me tell you what Mike Pence said. This came out of his mouth. He chose the Constitution over what Trump wanted him to do. What does that say? If he chose to believe him, be my guest. If you want to believe that's what Mike Pence, please be my guest.
It says what Trump wanted him to do was unconstitutional.
Yes. So that's part of something Allah he broke, because he wanted him to do something that he didn't do.
So if I need to make a proclamation, you just automatically believe what he says.
So you didn't hear what he said. He thought he won. You said he thought he won. That's why he was over there in Georgia, meddling in the business. He said he thought he won the election. He didn't say he did like he was doing all those other times. And you need to stop listening to Tucker Carlson with that mess you came in.
I just told you I read the indictment and I read the transcript, and everything I said was in relationship to those two documents. Not fucking Tucker Carlson. You don't even listen. You can't read and you can't listen.
Why are you yelling? He didn't yell at you. Why are you yelling? Well, Sarge, you're the one who sounds stupid. You're the only person yelling.
Okay. I'm also loud too. Hear that too.
Okay.
I'm loud and I'm right.
Okay, so hold on for a second, please. Right. Okay, wait, 1 second. Let me show y'all on the screen that Sarge don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Look, I want y'all to look at the screen. This is the indictment. When you see OCGA at the number sign and these numbers and dashes, this is the laws that Donald Trump violated. Now, the first one is violation of Georgia RICO and Racketeering Influenced by Corrupt Organization Act. And there is the law that was broke. And it goes on down. This is another law. Soliciting and violation of public office, false statements in writing, soliciting and violation of a public officer. And it goes on impersonating a public officer, false statements in writing, conspiracy to commit impersonating public officer, forgery to the first degree, conspiracy to commit forgery in the first degree, and it goes on down, and it shows you every fucking law that Donald Trump and his team of co-conspirators violated. Now, Sarge, what I'm trying to tell you is that the law is under these charges that Donald Trump violated. You can't tell me that he did not commit crime when you got the law written up under each count of these goddamn accusations.
You specifically mentioned election law.
Good Lord.
Do you not ever listen to yourself?
You said,
I said he was being charged with manifold violence. That's what RICO is.
I know
That's
you
what a
want
RICO violation is.
Listen, I know you want to move.
Multiple violations of multiple laws.
We know that you want to moonwalk your ass off the stage. Listen.
What gets me about you, man, is you don't even read.
Sarge, I know you want to moonwalk all over this off the stage, but this is the reality. The man has 70-something charges.
91.
Wow, I didn't even know that. I thought it was 70-something. So
no, he got 91
counts. You form yourself better like me. I make sure I get all of them.
Well, he just
91, not 71.
It's actually more than what I thought, or what was.
All right, well, when you find him, let me know the ones that are more than 91. Only know 91.
This is the thing.
Well,
I want you to help Peter Navarro out. That's all, Sarge. Help Peter Navarro.
Hey Jay, what really screwed him up was the false electors. He had to do an awful lot to get that going, and just the fact of trying to get false electors not in just one state. You got to understand the paradox that this dumb fucking wildebeest done put himself into. You know, Donald Trump done weaseled himself into a fucking trouble that even if motherfuckers want to get him out, they can't, because doing the false electors, now you got witnesses to testify against you.
And I'm glad you brought up those fake electors, because Sarge sit on his phone and told me that the fake electors won't no goddamn crime, which is bullshit. I mean, shit. They
let me know when you finish, niggas. I'm
talking to Mama's boy. I'm talking to Mama's boy, because he brought up a good point.
Tap on your head. Just let me know when you're finished, because I'm about to put you in your motherfucking place.
Man, why you trying to darken my shine? You trying to darken my shine, bro. Tyrone liked what I said, and you trying to darken my shine. Go ahead, Tyrone.
I'm talking about. You go ahead too, man. You take as much time as you need, and when you're finished, let me take as much time as I need.
Hey, listen, I won't believe you until you shut the fuck up. Go ahead, Tyrone.
I don't care if you believe me. I'm gonna put the evidence out there, and you make your own mind up.
No, hold on, just for 1 second. This indictment spells out everything, guys. So I mean, I'm just skimming over it right now. So Sarge, if you read this indictment, then you see what he's charged with. So you full of shit right now.
I told you a million times. I read the goddamn thing 5 times now, so I know essentially what it says in the indictment.
Okay, so you're denying the fucking evidence. Bullshit. You're denying the evidence then.
Sir, yes, I'm denying the evidence comporting with the law, yes. Now, let me explain to you about this fake elector shit. Fake, quote, fake elector, unquote. Because I know she's in possession of this document that puts that very proposition into question. I'm not talking about a narration, Negroes. I'm talking about a document that was made on December 14th.
You narrate.
See, this is what I mean. This is what I mean. These motherfuckers full of shit. Now, I'm not about to do this shit if you ain't going to listen to what I got to say.
Go ahead, man. Shit.
You can go and talk among yourselves. Fuck it. Stay ignorant. And be surprised when the shit comes out in court.
Oh no! Listen, hey, if y'all looking at this indictment, it's got all these acts and it's got them by name and the crimes that they committed. So, sorry, stop it. Just stop it.
All right. Once again, I got evidence here. I'm prepared to cite to you to put that evidence to paid.
Go ahead.
You want to hear it or not?
Go ahead, nigga.
Okay. Now, Fannie Willis has this document. It is a transcript of a meeting that was held on December 14th, 2020. It is entitled United States of America, State of Georgia, County of Fulton. Now listen to the title of the document because it is critical when this shit goes to trial. They call themselves the meeting of the Electoral College of Georgia regarding Georgia's electoral votes for President and Vice President of the United States. December 14th, 2020, 12:05 p.m. And it gives the date, the place where it was held. It gives who the videographer was. It gives who is present at the meeting, who are the people who were indicted by Fannie Willis, the spawn of the Black Panther. She indicted all these people, and it goes into the proceedings. And the first sentence in the proceedings, made on December 14th, 2020, long before this indictment, 3 years later, it's almost 3 years later, it says this. Chairman Schaefer, my name is David Schaefer. I'm the chairman of the Georgia Republican Party. And the hour of noon having arrived, it's my privilege to call to order this meeting of the Republican nominees for the Electoral College in the state of Georgia. Now, let me make this clear. These men were certified, not certified, let me not say that. They were duly selected by the state legislature of Georgia as electors for the presidency of the United States. They were electors. They were all Republicans. So everything he said in that transcript is true. They were Republican nominees because they were members of the Republican Party, and they were certified as electors by the state of Georgia for the presidential election in the state of Georgia. Now, he goes on to say this. The president has filed a contest to the certified returns. That contest is pending. It's not been decided or even heard by any judge with the authority to hear it. And so in order to preserve his rights, it's important that the Republican nominees for presidential elector meet here today and cast their votes. From my observation, 13 of the 16 nominees are present. He goes on to say that one of our presidential electors is no longer eligible because he registered to vote in another state to further his college studies. Now, when he goes on to recognize another guy in the meeting, this is sentence number 15. Ray Smith is a lawyer for President Trump. Do you wish to make any comments at this time? Mr. Smith, yes. We're conducting this, as Chairman Schaefer said, we're conducting this because the contest of the election in Georgia is ongoing. And so we continue to contest the election of the electors in Georgia. And so we're going to conduct this in accordance with the Constitution of the United States, and we're going to conduct the electorate today, wait for it now, similar to what happened in 1960 in Hawaii. Chairman Schaefer. And if we did not hold this meeting, then our election contest would effectively be abandoned. Is that correct? Mr. Smith, that's correct. Chairman Schaefer, that's correct. Mr. Smith, that's correct. And so the only way for us to have any judge consider the merits of our complaint, the thousands of people who we allege voted unlawfully, is for us to have this meeting and permit the contest to continue. Is that not correct? Mr. Smith, that's correct, Mr. Chairman. So, because the documents and so on and so forth, and he talks about the reason they're holding this and why this meeting has been adjourned to that effect. It was never to present a list of fake electors. It was to have an alternate slate of electors to be presented to the Congress of the United States in the event that Donald Trump's court challenges were to prevail. just as what happened in 1960 in Hawaii as what happened in 1876 in the Rutherford Hayes election. The same thing happened. Nobody got indicted when the results of the first count were overturned, and the alternate slate of electors was accepted.
Can I go, Tyrone?
No narration, facts.
Yeah, you can go, but just real quick, Sarge, that's bullshit. Cause none of Donald Trump court cases.
You just dismiss everything.
I'm talking to Mama's boy. I'm talking to Mama's boy.
You're not gonna be able to dismiss this argument in court.
Okay, go ahead, Mama's boy, cause he ain't gonna
dismiss it all you want.
Let Mama's boy talk. Go ahead.
Well, everything that you said, Sarge. I mean, you actually just spelled out why Fonnie brought the indictment, because just doing all of that, the getting the alternate electors. See, that right there is he already had took everything to court by the time he comes and starts talking.
Let him finish.
Wait a minute. I know this is when you want to start running your mouth, but let me finish.
You just said something that wasn't true.
You said everything that wasn't true, nigga. So let
nobody stopped you from talking.
The judge denied him. That was not true.
Sarge, although you may think everything you say is true, did anybody interrupt you when you was talking?
I'm not interrupting you.
Did anybody interrupt you when you were talking?
I didn't say anything that wasn't true. I read
yes,
from the transcript.
Did anybody interrupt you when you were talking? You can't answer the question because you know you caught. You know you caught.
Right.
Shut up. Let me finish.
All I know is your declarations aren't true. Your declarations are not true.
Just shut up and let me finish. Whether I say anything false to your perception or not, you shut up and let me finish. Now, the whole reason why he got a case brought on to him is because the attorney general told him, you've done all you could do. You done went to court. The court said, fuck you. All this shit ain't no fucking ain't no illegal things going on in this election. It turned out right. You exhausted all your means, and everything that you saying, Mr. President, is not true. That's in the goddamn transcript. Maybe not by the way I said it, but you can find that in the transcript of the phone call. Him telling Trump, you done did everything. And guess what? Nobody cheated. We checked everything. You done exhausted yourself. What you asking for is, I can't do it. And that is when Fonnie brought the charges. That's when she started investigating, because she heard the phone call. This is what even started her whole investigation and bringing the indictments in the first place, was she heard the phone call. So whatever you saying, Sarge, it's all a really elaborate design, little gift that you're trying to hand us to try to give us a false flag to the left, when Fonnie Williams got this nigga on the right. And I'm just calling bullshit on what you saying, because you fighting for Trump in a conspiratorial way, just like everybody that did it in Georgia with the fake electors. Yes, fake electors, not alternate electors, not just in case, because you even got evidence up there in other states where they done signed the whole damn letter. That's the reason why they getting charged up there in Wisconsin or whatever. So it was all a scheme for him to go through all the states that he needed to win. And he got them, his conspiratorial crew, the racketeering crew, he got them 19 people and probably some other people to go around and try to find people who would stand as an elector, alternate for Trump in all these other states. And guess what? Fonnie went to those other states and got evidence of him doing the same thing there that he tried to do in Georgia, which is a crime. And you live in Georgia. Georgia's racketeering laws are way different than the federal laws. They're from what everybody says, they go for a little bit more. So you do a little bit less to get convicted of racketeering in Georgia. And you already know this, Sarge, where you should. I think you just homering for Donald Trump, because I think he's actually caught in this one, especially when you got the tape. But go ahead, Tyrone.
Okay, so check this out. Real quick, Sarge. Hold on. So Sarge, let me say this right quick.
Public filing, at no time did any of those people, especially David Schaefer, ever claim they were the duly certified and selected electoral slate from the state of Georgia that was transmitted to the House of Representatives and the Senate. They never said that. They said they were in fact, selected as electors for the state of Georgia who voted for Donald Trump. They were that. There's no doubt about that whatsoever. Now, if they had done what you are obliquely accusing them of, that they said they were the duly certified representatives from the state of Georgia, certified by the state of Georgia as the electoral slate from the state of Georgia, then you would be correct. But they did not do that. They did not say that. If they did say that, then I would agree with you. They did not. They presented themselves as an alternate slate of electors, as has been done 5 times in the history of the United States without anyone ever being indicted for it. The same damn thing.
Okay, so let me say this right here. Look, I think this pertains to the phone call in this indictment. It says count 38 of 41. And it says, and the grand jurors aforesaid in the name and behalf of the citizens of Georgia do charge and accuse Donald John Trump with the offense of solicitation of violation of oath of office by public officer, OCG 16-4-7, that's the law, and 16-10-1 for the said accused in the county of Fulton of the state of Georgia on or about the 17th day of September, unlawfully solicited, requested, and importuned Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger, a public officer, to engage in conduct constituting a felony offense of violating the oath of office by public officer, OCG 16-10-1, by unlawfully decertifying the election or whatever the correct legal remedy is, and announce the true winner in willful and intentional violation of the terms of the oath of said person as prescribed by law, with the intent that the said person engage in said conduct contrary to the laws of the state, the good order, peace, and dignity thereof. So whenever you're talking about that phone call, it wraps up under this solicitation of violation of the oath of public officer, and that's 16-4-7. So the phone call is in here. It's just written in a certain way. So sorry, that was
I know where it's written, man, and I know the easiest thing in the world for a prosecutor who doesn't have anybody else but themselves.
Sorry, that's the law. Why don't you speak about the law that he broke?
Not all that familiar with either
Tyrone.
Why don't you speak about that law?
That's why they say prosecutor can get a ham sandwich indicted.
Okay, so why don't you speak about the law that he broke, and you saying that it wasn't the breaking the law?
You claim he broke it. I say he didn't.
But it's in the fucking indictment, Sarge. You said you read the goddamn indictment. It's right the fuck here.
And if the U.S. Attorney General says something, he's the final arbiter of the law and the Constitution.
Oh, Jesus.
So Merrick Garland, anything he says, I'm supposed to believe that
We ain't even talking about Merrick Garland. We talking about Georgia, motherfucker. This ain't got shit to do with Merrick Garland.
U.S. Attorney General. I don't give a fuck who it is. I don't care if it's John Marshall.
Tyrone, the picture.
Arbiter of the law, the Constitution.
I know it
Tyrone,
hurts.
the picture is there. If you transpose those laws over the scene of the actions of Donald Trump and his 18 other conspirators, then it'll all match up, letter for letter, instant for instant. Every time. The first thing that she hit him with was what he sat down and came up with. I'm gonna call this dude and have this dude go over here. That's called racketeering, right there. I'm gonna get all these damn people to work on the same damn cause to get me back in office. And that's racketeering. All you got to do is break in Georgia. I'ma just tell you what I heard them say out their own mouth. In Georgia, you have to break 2 laws in the direction of said conspiracy. So it only takes 2. It only takes 2. If they break any more, you can count them, but it only takes 2. Okay, so if you take all 18 or 19 of them, okay, you got each and every one of them at least committing 2 of a law in Georgia, right? That is in sort of inference or in the direction of all the same thing.
Yeah.
So let's just say it's robbing a bank. You know, you got the teller over here stealing the codes for the bank over there and passing them over to this dude over here who takes them over to this guy over here. What? Hey, all 3 of them people, right, just committed a damn they broke a law in a conspiracy to rob the bank.
Yeah, you spelling it out. You spelling it out. Sarge is just in denial. This indictment is written. If y'all read this indictment, I'll share it in the chat room. If y'all read this indictment, it is written out crystal clear how these people violated the laws. And Sarge, as an ex-police officer, he ought to be ashamed of his goddamn self on here ignoring the goddamn law.
Stop trying to lecture me with your bullshit. I'm not listening. Look, man, I can read an indictment better than you. I've read more of it than you, and I know when a prosecutor facts charges. And this is the biggest classical example of charge stacking I think I've ever seen in my life.
Sarge, we went right to the head, but we should have broke it down little by little and broke down the body, because we're talking about we didn't even get to the Proud Boys. We didn't get to the Oath Keepers, Sarge. What happened there? What happened to Tatario?
Enrique Terrio was just rioting for the wrong side, that's all. Should have set up shop in the Jazz Zone or the Chop Zone or one of them other places, or started burning down buildings. The problem with him is he was rioting on the side of the Republicans. That's what he did wrong.
Well, I got a question. I do got a question for you, Sarge.
I'm not impressed by it.
I do have a question for you if you don't mind answering.
Should attack the judicial building in Portland. Maybe you'd have got away with that.
Sarge, all right, you don't want to answer my question?
No, I just made a comment before I do. Let me hear your question.
Okay, how do you feel about everybody that's been convicted all saying the same thing, that they were all there at the direction of the president?
Let me before I answer the question, let me get a clarification. They were there at the personal direction of the bank. He personally told them to go to the ellipse and to then go and start a riot from there. Is that what you're saying? Or are you implying obliquely that he...
I'm not implying anything.
I need to know.
I'm not implying anything. I'm just asking you a simple, straight up question. How do you feel about all the people that got convicted of the insurrection on January 6th, all saying that they were there at the president's direction?
Unless they can say they were there at the president's direction to create a riot, as far as I'm concerned, it was a request from the president to come there to protest peaceably. That's my answer.
You full of shit.
You're full of shit. You try to make up something that ain't there. That's what you're trying to do. I know it. You know it. Everybody listening to you knows it. But because it's me and it's you and it's Sarge, you're goddamn right. They're not going to go along.
Well, Sarge.
Donald Trump made it importune them to come there to riot, then it was just a request to peaceably assemble, as he publicly stated.
Okay, now I got maybe a statement to say about that. Maybe in difference to what you say. My statement is simple. I think the minute that Trump knew that those people were armed and sent them to the Capitol, he made himself part of the insurrection.
Okay. You better prove that then. Or somebody better prove it.
It's already been proven that he
speculate
knew.
all you want about what might have been, but you better
It's
drop some
already
solid.
been proven that he knew.
Now you're free to believe it if you want to, but I'm gonna want to see some pretty solid evidence. What I mean,
Well, I mean, the solid evidence
I've seen none thus far. Zero.
the solid evidence I'm going off of is the congressional testimony under the fact that she had you gotta swear to tell the truth, when you go before Congress. And
did any of them say that
I
they were
mean
and they were intended to form a riot? Was that said by any of them? Donald Trump or his Confederates?
You bringing something new to the argument.
Riot. I want to know who said that or anything remotely
You bringing
resembling.
something new. You starting on a whole new argument, man. I thought.
You're making a claim. You said
No, I'm just telling you the facts.
Who said
I'm telling you the facts.
like that?
I'm telling you the facts that one girl,
You mean the girl
testified.
with the steering wheel and shit? That crazy motherfucker?
No, not the girl who got shot.
No,
Coming
the woman
through
in
the
the
window.
white dress who raised the right hand talking about Donald Trump tried to grab the steering wheel away from the Secret Service agent. That crazy motherfucker?
What's her name? Hughes Huffington or some shit. What's her damn name?
Yeah, was that the one? The one that talks
Do
about
you know? Do you know her name?
Secret Service agent from the back seat of
I ain't trying to Google who the damn girl is. I think I have to. But she was the one. She was the one that was standing there and heard Trump say himself that he didn't care about the magnetometers, turn them off and let the people in, let the people with the guns in. Now he already knew there were people with guns. Hold on, Sarge, I'm not done.
That was Cassidy Hutchinson.
There you go, Cassidy Hutchinson. She overheard the president. So this is a first person testimony. The president say it's not hearsay if she heard him say it.
It's hearsay.
Well, it's a type of okay. I'm not gonna get into no pissing match with you. What it's called?
I know you want to avoid the legal definition. You're trying to use.
No. I'm not trying to avoid the legal definition because I'm just talking about what the girl said. Under the penalty of perjury. So that's all that matters to me right now. You could come up with different ways to justify your master's motherfucking misdeeds, but that ain't me, bro. I'm just talking the facts. And she sat up there in Congress and she said she overheard the president say he don't care about the fact that the people were armed, turned the magnetometers off and let them in, and they still didn't let them in. But he knew those people were armed and sent them to the Capitol.
On what grounds did he know they were armed, even if he did want the magnetometer turned off?
They just told him.
They told him the Secret Service. Hold on, Sarge. Listen, stop being stupid.
I heard what you just said.
Sarge, listen. The Secret Service was radioing that the people.
Paying attention to what you just said?
Sarge, listen. The Secret Service radioed that the people was armed. Sarge, so the president knew.
When the Secret Service communicated to the president that they were armed?
Yes.
Do you know how many communications went on that day? There were literally thousands.
Okay, well, he ain't trying to answer that.
He dancing, Tyrone.
I'm not dancing. You are now telling me that Donald Trump was aware of a specific communication among the tens of thousands that occurred that day.
Okay, well, he ain't trying to respond to it.
And you're trying to say you knew it in real time. You're bullshit. Thousands of communications going on between the various law enforcement agencies.
Hey, Tyrone, listen.
And I believe the shit you'll try to stretch. You will try to stretch a thread into a rope a kilometer long.
Sarge, you're lost, man. You're lost. I don't know.
No, you're making shit up, and I'm beating your ass on every point.
You ain't beating shit.
But you just
ignoring. You're ignoring the facts, and you're calling this a conversation, and it's not.
Everything you say.
You're ignoring the facts,
and I'm not accepting it, and you're getting frustrated.
You're ignoring the facts, and you calling it a conversation, and it's not, Sarge.
Okay, you just got got through telling me some agent or somebody said they're armed trying to get to the magnetometer, and Donald Trump was instantly aware of it, and then ordered them to turn off the magnetometer, which they weren't going to do anyway. That's a violation of protocol. They would have to get a written order from the president to do it, and they didn't get it that day. You just make things up.
I didn't make
up, man.
anything.
It's testimony, man.
You're trying to imply that the president ordered magnetometers off so rioters and insurrectionists could smuggle firearms into the Capitol building.
No, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. That's not what I said, sir. That is not what I said, sir. That is not what I said, sir. That is not what I said, sir.
Well,
that is not
please.
what the fuck I said, sir. That's not what I said, sir.
Well, then
That's
reiterate
not
for me,
what
please.
the fuck okay, and then I will reiterate it for you. What I said was the young lady testified that she overheard the president say out of his 2 dick beaters that he didn't give a fuck about them guys being armed, turn the magnetometers off and let them in to where they were at. Right there. When he was at the ellipse, he wanted the people to be let in so he could speak to them and meet them or whatever, let them in because they were being held outside of the ellipse because they were armed. And they told the president that, and the president said, I don't care that they're armed. Turn the magnetometers off and let them in. Now, that shows you right there, he knew he had armed people out there and he sent them to the Capitol. It's a wrap.
Are you finished now? Are you finished? I'm going to assume you're finished. All right, now, this hearsay witness said she heard the President of the United States say something that the people who were in the magnetometers could not legally do. They could not allow armed people into the Capitol by turning off the magnetometers without an express written order from the President to do so. They're not going to do it on the basis of some phone transmission or some words to some anonymous aide from some hearsay witness that they couldn't do in the first goddamn place. In a contemporaneous, violent, chaotic incident. Now, none of that makes any sense. I don't
Man, you're a
believe
nut.
a word.
Listen, you basically
do if you want to, but none of that is proof of a damn thing. Not any of it.
You basically didn't pay attention to the hearing. You didn't hear any of the testimony. You don't shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up because you didn't pay attention to. You did not pay attention to any. Shut the fuck up. You didn't pay attention to anything.
I know what you're talking about now.
You didn't pay any attention to anything that's going on because you're in denial.
He even misstated what she said.
You're in denial of every. Oh shit! Let me open these lines up.
He misstated.
Q&A session is over. All participants are unmuted.
You ain't pay attention to nothing that's going on.
People just make up anything if you think it fits your narratives.
Sarge, you just want to be contrary. That's all.
Well, now you're changing the subject again.
I'm not. You're not even having a conversation, nigga.
Hey, did Sarge say that she misstated what he said?
Because I'm too well informed for you to do that.
No, you're in denial. You're denying everything. That's stupid. That ain't even a conversation.
Is Sarge offering his expert legal opinion again?
I ain't sticking around for this dumbass because now the conversation's over. At least we're talking somewhat about the issue. This motherfucker just gonna talk about Benoit balls or some shit.
Well, hey, Sarge, before you go, I just want clarity, man. You know, did you say that she misstated what Donald Trump said? Hello?
He's still on.
Yes, you misstated what she said under oath.
I didn't misstate what she said.
She said that Donald Trump did not give a fuck about weapons, and he wanted them to go through the magnetometer to turn them off. I'm saying again, I'm paraphrasing what I think you just said.
I paraphrased what she said, and you can go check her testimony. It was live on TV.
And another part of what she said, Donald Trump, what she heard Donald Trump said, he said that they're not here for me, let them in.
Yeah, he did say that.
All right, one more again. The hearsay witness, whatever he may have said after she said she heard him say it, it had no effect on the actions of the agents on the ellipse with regard to the magnetometers or allowing anyone into the arena, into that area.
So,
if they
Sarge,
had weapons,
you're right.
they would have been
You're
denied
right.
weapons, and the weapons would have been confiscated.
Let me try this, y'all. You're right. You're right, Sarge. Now, listen. I'm going to put this together for you. You may not like how I'm going to put it together, but let me finish, and then you can refute whatever the fuck about it you don't like. But I'm trying to get you to understand the reason why I'm saying he's guilty of being part of it. See, the fact that he knew he had armed people standing out there, and they were talking a lot of shit, so them people were ready to go. And he could see they were ready to go, and he knew that they wasn't there to fuck him up, right? He knew all this prior to him sending them up there. So in knowing that he's finna send some deranged, pumped up, full of energy, armed people to the Capitol, and something happens, it's the same liability for you and me if I send a whole bunch of pumped up people over to somebody's house and they fuck the house up. I'm going to be liable for it. So, hell yeah, you're goddamn right. Trump is an insurrectionist.
Okay. So Trump was not charged with aiding, abetting, or even inciting a riot or an insurrection. So the charges you are now accusing him of being guilty of are related to criminal offenses like that. He was not charged with anything like that.
What he was charged with in D.C. then? Huh?
Okay, he wasn't. See, the charges he just related would be being either an accessory to or a conspiracy to smuggle weapons into the Capitol grounds for purposes of aiding and abetting an insurrection or a riot. He wasn't charged with any of that, even if he did say what the hearsay witness said he said.
Sarge, listen, prosecutors are looking for the best charges they could bring on him that's going to stick, that he's not going to wiggle or weasel his way out of. So they got to be very precise and say, okay, he can't, because he can get away with this or that. Listen, these people are experts. They know better than you and I. When they get in this arena, they say, we're going against one of the biggest shits that could make us or break us, all right? And we got to have everything right. You think these people in 4 different states and all these 90-plus charges is just made up shit? You better do some soul searching, brother. You better do some soul searching. Look what happened to Enrique. Do you want to be Enrique? Are you going to do 22 years for Donald Trump?
So again, we can both agree then
I think not.
that they lack grounds to charge him with anything with the magnetometer and the guns. You're just introducing all that to muddy the waters. Is that it? That's the reason you brought up this hearsay witness testimony?
Listen.
Wait a minute, is that the reason you brought it up? What was the purpose of bringing it up? To show that he's likely guilty of other things they're charging him with?
Sarge, it's all
No, I just want to know. If that's the case, then just let me know.
I'm telling you that it's all connected, and he
okay, then I got my answer. You think it's all connected? Okay,
remember
good.
that song? Remember that song by Michael Jackson, Jam? That's it right now.
Okay, good. I got it.
Jam. That's your boy. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And talk about Peter Navarro.
You're trying to muddy the water.
Wait. What about Peter Navarro, Sarge? What the hell he was talking about?
Oh, what about Peter Navarro? Please be specific.
What the hell was he talking about?
Because I've heard all kind of shit about Peter Navarro, and I want you to narrow it down a bit.
I'm asking you, what the hell was he talking about?
You tell me. What did he say that I'm supposed to respond?
Said that he said one true thing. He said he was the first one, the high official, to get convicted, and he was right about that. He is, but he's not talking about why. Why?
Well, what did he say? He's confessing? Is that a confession as far as you're concerned?
No, he didn't. He told the truth on that one part, but then he stopped there. He's trying to make it seem that he was supposed to get a pass. And guess what? Donald Trump didn't help him. Where's Donald Trump saying that he gave him executive privilege or all that other shit? What happened? Where is it? Where's Donald Trump saying right now?
Because it's quite possible that he didn't have any conversations with Mark Navarro that will fall under the executive privilege.
Listen,
you just can't invoke executive privilege willy-nilly. It's got to be a specific conversation that you have with the president that should and have to remain confidential.
You know what? This is something that somebody brought out. It was a good point. None of the people, we thought that, of course, he's not going to help the insurrectionists that was out, the Proud Boys or any of the regular, civilians that was doing shit for him, right? Because they're not tied in. But then they said, wait a minute, but what about the people in his inner circle? He's not helping them with the bills. Sarge, he's acting like he's not liable, like they're on their own, Sarge. Are you saying that Donald Trump had nothing to do with this and they're on their own, Sarge? 18, 17
so many things they're accusing Donald Trump of. I'm not going to say anything until you get very specific of what the charge is. Because I don't know everything he may or may not be guilty of. All I know is what they're accusing him of.
Sarge,
I'm not with him 24 hours a day. I don't know what he may or may not be doing legal or illegal. All I know is what the charges are against and the evidence that has thus far been publicly revealed.
Sarge,
and I'm responding to that and that alone.
Sarge, if these people that they're accusing of doing stuff for Donald Trump, fucking, they snitch on him and drop a dime, right, and say yes. What are you talking about? Why isn't it right now that Donald Trump is not paying their legal bills?
So you're saying he should be paying the bills of his co-defendants? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
This is a standard I've never heard.
They went in. They
I've never heard anything like this before. Someone else charged. So in other words, you're saying that since Donald Trump solicited him to commit crimes, he should be paying for their illegal. Should be paying for their bills.
Look. Let's be for real. Some of those people.
I've never heard this invoked before.
Sarge, listen. Let's be for real. Some of them did volunteer.
Now he has an obligation to pay the legal fees.
They wanted some of them wanted to play Superman and try to be hero and inserted themselves without Trump officially saying. But there are people that Donald Trump talked to in his inner circle that did some things, and I'm asking you why he's not paying their bills, because they're charged with shit that has to do with him. It's not shit they did on their own. They're saying it's connected to him. So my question is why he's not paying any of their bills, including Giuliani. You need to take another drink. You gasping for air? There's a lot to take in, I know, Sarge. This is back to back. All this shit is starting to hit. Remember we talked about this a couple of months ago. Said the shit is about to hit. You're like, yeah, well, call me in the morning. Well, it's morning, Sarge. Peter Navarro, number one. Your boy, Enrique Tartario, or the Oath Keepers, Sarge, 22, 18, 16, 10. What happened, Sarge? I know. It's deep.
Well, Sarge's new name is Mr. Post, Mr. Fence, because he keep moving the post, man. Because there was a time when he was on, they didn't have any weapons. Remember that one? Remember when he came on and said there was no weapons on January 6th? Yeah. Found it was bullshit. So, I mean, hey, it is what it is, man.
It's tough for Sarge now.
Okay, I blacked out. Hey, look, I had a lost communication there. I'm back. Yeah, I'm here tonight. I didn't hear anything y'all just said.
Okay, so
Anything I may have said that you utterly distorted. But if you go reiterate it again from the time I lost my phone connection, I will respond to each and every probable untruth that you said about what I said.
Again, Sarge, I'm going to ask you why he is not paying their bills when they are charged with charges that have to do with Donald Trump. It wasn't like they went and got arrested.
I actually don't know. You will have to ask Donald Trump that. For me to attempt to represent it is simply something that's beyond my ability to do so. He may be, for all I or you know, behind the scenes. We don't know whether he is or not.
Right. Well, like I said, Peter Navarro needs a lot of help, Sarge, and he's the first one to, I guess in the inner circle, but again, Tatario,
Enrique Tario, he was friends with a federal judge.
22 years, the other one 18, the other one 16, the other one 10.
He riding for the wrong side.
Yeah.
Should have been a member of BLM, or maybe the CHOP, the Antifa, over there besieging the federal court building and trying to burn it down. Too bad he wasn't a rider for that side.
Sarge,
he would have got left side. He might have even got probation.
He could always appeal, Sarge, right?
3-hour riot? Oh, throw the book at him. Please.
Well, Sarge, why you don't go help Enrique Tatario?
Because I have a desire to. I don't think
apparently,
he didn't come down and help me out when I got locked up for busting that motherfucker upside his head.
Yeah, well, they didn't know who you were at the time.
Okay. Well, I thought he'd be able to get out of it without my help.
Well, with all this going on, this was the time for all the Proud Boys and all the Oath Keeper tough guys to come out and say, you're not going to lock up anything. Why the hell did Enrique Tatario even acknowledge the court system?
He didn't even set foot in the Capitol.
Sarge, I'm asking you, why did he even acknowledge the court system and showed up at court? Why?
Because he was arrested, he made bail, and he responded to his bail summons. What, do you expect me, a fugitive from justice?
Well,
is that what you think he should have been?
They thought Donald Trump was their president.
I just answered it. Now, do you think he should have been a fugitive from justice?
Well, he thought that Donald Trump was the president. So he should have just asked Donald Trump.
Ask me a question. I answered it.
You think Donald Trump is still the president too? So why he didn't give him a pass with the
when
president?
When did I ever say I think he's still the president? I think he was cheated out of the presidency. And for reasons that had nothing to do with voting machines necessarily.
Sorry, I think, like I said, you try to do the James Brown moonwalk.
I'm not doing the James Brown, sir. I'm answering the questions directly, and you don't know how to respond to them, so you accuse me of dancing.
You're doing the running man right now.
I just said the man was denied an election that was rightfully his. I believe the electoral anomalies and irregularities and unconstitutional illegalities were legion. The complicity of the mainstream press in covering up negative information about Joe Biden was beyond fucking belief.
That got nothing
all
to do
of those factors conspired to deny Donald Trump an election that was properly his.
Well, we'll have a chance to see this in court because they'll be able to put all this evidence forth in court. They'll be able to put all this evidence forth in court, right? Right?
It depends upon the judge.
But he said that.
Judges can deny lines of defense.
Well, sorry.
I've seen them do it.
Joe, he did say one true thing. Hold on, Joe. For Sarge's sake, he did say one thing true. Remember, he did tell us that there was going to be a lot of indictments coming and a bunch of people getting locked up. Well, it's happening right now. He's right about that.
You're not surprised by any of this. The Democrats are waging lawfare.
But again,
an existential threat to their hold on power. They are pulling out all the stops to stop him. There has never been a criminal in the history of the United States for any offense whatsoever that has been indicted in 4 separate jurisdictions on 91 different counts. Not any criminal godfather, not any serial killer, not any murder, not anyone in the history of America.
Well, you know what there, Sarge?
Well, that should tell you that Donald Trump is a criminal. But listen, YouTube.
Somebody's got to be first.
Happening right now.
Okay, so shut up. Listen,
Somebody's
YouTube.
gotta be
Okay,
first.
let me say this right here. YouTube, I'm getting ready to shut y'all down. Y'all can call into the conference call at 717-908-1834. Yeah, that should tell you how big of a criminal Donald Trump is, then, man. I mean, goddamn, you just spelled it out.
That, man, I got a bridge in Manhattan for $24 off.
Well,
But you know what, Tyrone?
Tyrone, can I bring up just